Chapter 346. Why isn't Three-Axe Mountain here? Thunder God suddenly asked. Luo Feng was startled, right? There were 5 voices shouting. They were 100 Tiger Building, North Dragon City, Black Cloud Guild, Sacred Land Black Dragon Mountain and Sacred Land Ice Seagull Country. However, there was no mention of Three-Axe Mountain. Let's ask Heruo, Hong said. Thunder God nodded. Nanhe, Aogu, the 2 of you help guard, Luo Feng said. After which, Luo Feng, Hong and Thunder God closed their eyes and entered the Virtual Universe Network. Virtual Universe, Black Dragon Mountain Island, 9-Star Bay Residential Area. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Luo Hua rubbed his hair with all his might, feeling very conflicted. He, Luo Honghua, and Gong Xian Lan sat together at a round table, drinking tea in the garden. Xiao Hua, what are you thinking about? Why are you so troubled? Luo Honghua held his teacup and smiled. What's wrong? It's not right. It's supposed to rise. It's because of the quantity and energy. The flow of funds in other investment markets should be changing. It's either a big fall or a big rise. It shouldn't be like a stagnant pool. Luo Hua said bitterly. I need to pour more money into the Dong Hua Star area. How could this be? How could this be? I can't keep up, I can't keep up. What are you talking about, little Hua? Gong Xian Lan laughed. The utilization of funds isn't right. Luo Hua looked up at Gong Xian Lan. Mom, don't interrupt me, I'm thinking about something. TSK, on Earth, aren't you able to call the shots in the financial game? What's wrong with you now? You were full of confidence last night. Gong Xian Lan teased. It's different. Luo Hua shook his head. For any operation, you must first establish your own operating system. The financial operations on Earth were very different from those in the universe. It was like the difference between a 2-dimensional world and a 3-dimensional world. And in the virtual universe, I can invest in many places, like the Black Dragon Mountain Starfield, Dong Hua Starfield, etc., or even other universe countries. Who knows, a battle between some super experts might be enough to destroy a group. Therefore, investing is very complicated and changes are very fast. It's just like the stock market on Earth. There's a huge bull market every 10 years. However, it was different in the universe. Different countries in the universe had different economic situations. Some were religious countries, some were imperial countries. If the financial market on Earth is a gentle stream, then the financial market in the universe is the sea with a level 12 typhoon. Full of danger, but also full of opportunities. The more powerful ones can increase their capital by 1,000 times in 10 days to half a month. Similarly, even if you're an expert, once you're attacked, you might also be finished. Luo Hua shook his head. I'm just a small fry right now, and I'm always following behind others. You still have a small capital? Luo Honghua glared at him. Didn't you say that your capital has increased tenfold in the past few months? 10 times in a few months? That's pretty average. Luo Hua shook his head. The universe's financial market changes extremely quickly, 100 times faster than Earth's market. The danger was 100 times, 1,000 times greater. In order to ensure the safety of my capital, I only increased it tenfold after a few months. However, from yesterday to today I lost 30%, about 2 billion Ganwu dollars. What? Luo Honghua and Gong Xian Lan opened their eyes wide. 2 billion Ganwu dollars. Luo Feng had once given Luo Hua 500 million Ganwu dollars, and Luo Hua had raised it to close to 10 billion Ganwu dollars. Relax, I'm considered rather stable. Luo Hua shook his head, after which he smiled at his parents. However, Dad, honestly, I feel that the universe's financial market is the most interesting. It's really grand and majestic, giving one the feeling of fighting against the waves. It feels good. You feel good, 2 billion Ganwu dollars gone. Your brother bought Earth and only spent 1 billion Ganwu dollars. Luo Hongguo was obviously a little depressed. He was dumbfounded by the 2 billion Ganwu dollars. 2 billion Ganwu dollars isn't much. Luo Hua shook his head and smiled. Dad, you have to broaden your horizons. The universe financial market, a few super oligarchs, can even control the rise and fall of a middle-tier country in the universe. Their wealth is simply astronomical. Some of the universe's absolute warriors have even joined in. The waters within are very deep. I'm just a small fry. This kind of financial market that crosses universe countries, the lowest requirement is a capital of 100 million Ganwu dollars. If it wasn't for my brother giving me a sum of money, I'm afraid I'd only be able to mingle within my own universe country. There are many investment markets that I wouldn't even be able to enter. Suddenly, in the garden in front of the three houses, Luo Feng, Hong and Thunder God appeared. Their three houses were all built on the same piece of land. What lowest requirement is 100 million Ganwu dollars? Luo Feng walked over. Brother. Luo Hua stood up. I just met with some trouble and lost some money. How much? Luo Feng casually sat down, picking up his teacup and drinking. Right now in the world within a world, the large organizations were all trying to recruit people. Luo Feng didn't really gather them. About 2 billion Ganwu dollars, Luo Hua said. Chi. A mouthful of tea was spat out, drenching Luo Hua. Brother. Luo Hua looked helplessly at Luo Feng. How much did you say, 2 billion Ganwu dollars? Luo Feng stared. Damn, even when he bought metals he had to consider the price etc. The first sum he got from his teacher was only 10 billion Ganwu dollars, after buying Earth, universe ships, slaves, planet defense systems, giving his brother, Hong and Thunder God a sum each. He didn't even have 5 billion Ganwu dollars left. Of course, he earned a huge sum in the world within a world. Brother, don't make a fuss, all right? Luo Hua said. Right now I still have over 3 billion left. Over 3 billion Ganwu dollars? Are you sure it's Ganwu dollars? Luo Feng stared. Right. Ganwu dollars. Luo Hua nodded. Damn. Luo Feng stared. At this time, Hong and Thunder God walked over. Hong laughed. Luo Feng, why haven't you contacted Heruo? What are you talking about? My little brother played some universe financial market and lost 2 billion Ganwu dollars. Luo Feng said. Hong and Thunder God were immediately stunned. After that, he still has over 3 billion left. I'll say this first, I only gave him 500 million Ganwu dollars. Hong and Thunder God stared at Luo Hua. Why are you all looking at me like that? Luo Hua was a little stunned. It's very normal, investing these things depends on the capital. The capital of 100 million Ganwu dollars, multiplied by 5 times, becomes 500 million Ganwu dollars. And the capital of 10 billion Ganwu dollars, multiplied by 5 times, becomes 50 billion Ganwu dollars. Luo Hua said, the bigger the capital, the more I earn. Similarly, the losses are huge too. What I need to do is to lower the losses as much as possible and even reduce them. Increase my earnings. Luo Feng, Hong and Thunder God looked at each other. D. Your account has received a transfer of 4 billion Ganwu dollars. A screen appeared before Luo Hua, on it was a mail. Luo Hua was stunned. Don't look, it's for you. Luo Feng looked at Luo Hua. Big brother, you're giving me this much? Luo Hua said, I can't guarantee that I won't lose money, the universe financial market changes very quickly, I can only guarantee. The capital will at most lose 30%. Luo Hua and Luo Feng were blood brothers, with his innate intelligence, along with absorbing the thoughts of many investment masters on Earth. He was definitely one of the investment masters on Earth. Maybe Earth's financial market, compared to the universe's financial market, was very immature. However, in terms of thinking, Earth's many investment thoughts, many theories passed down from ancient times, were indeed unique. At least Luo Hua, who had just entered the universe financial market not long ago, was able to quickly adapt and had some gains. The occasional setbacks allowed him to gain experience, perfecting his own investment strategies. According to Luo Hua's words, only through repeated setbacks, constantly gaining experience, can one become stronger. The price of failure and setbacks must be controlled. Be prepared for failure. Don't ever let a single failure knock you down. It's only a 30% loss, go ahead and do it. Luo Feng laughed. This financial market, the profits really double, the losses are shocking too. However, little brother is indeed talented in this area. Luo Feng thought to himself, from now on, 30% of the money I earn will be transferred to my brother, let him invest. I believe this will allow my brother to walk even further and higher. After finishing his conversation with his brother, Luo Feng, Hong and Thunder God contacted Huru. Luo Feng, Hong, Thunder God, I'm really happy to see you three. On the screen, Huru was extremely excited. Many people in the world within a world died too horribly, many people died. To be able to see you, we're very happy too. Hong laughed. Hurrah! Right now the large organizations are trying to rope in the adventurers? Luo Feng asked. Right. Hurrah nodded. Our North Dragon City still has the 100 Tiger Building, the Black Cloud Guild and the 2 Sacred Lands. They're all trying to rope in the adventurers. To fight for the treasures, the first thing is to have enough people. They didn't rope in the 3 Axe Mountain? Thunder God asked. The 3 Axe Mountain is different from the other 3 organizations. The 3 Axe Mountain is known as the leader of the 4 great organizations. They don't nurture young people. To join the 3 Axe Mountain, the lowest requirement is the universe level. Because they don't nurture young people, in this world within a world, there are only a few disciples of the 3 Axe Mountain's powerful fighters. There aren't many people, so they can't form a power. Hurrah explained. Luo Feng, Thunder God and Hong understood. Not nurturing young people, so the number of people from the 3 Axe Mountain that participate in the trainee exam is naturally very few. No wonder even Ming Yu found him. So, the main thing is the 5 of us fighting for it. Hurrah laughed. Luo Feng, we've already roughly confirmed the location of the treasure. However, the 5 of us are restraining each other, so we're all trying our best to rope in the adventurers. Luo Feng, you guys join our North Dragon City, just temporarily. Luo Feng, Hong and Thunder God were shocked. You've confirmed the location of the treasure? Luo Feng and Thunder God said almost at the same time. Hurrah nodded, we're 90% sure that the treasure is there. Right now, it's being watched by the 5 of us. If you don't join one of us, you won't even have the chance to enter. Luo Feng and the other 2 slightly nodded. The 3 exchanged glances and made a decision. Chapter 347. World Within a World, Late Night. Luo Feng and his team temporarily joined the North Dragon Castle camp. The entire central region of the plains was split into 5 big camps. Within the North Dragon Castle camp. Senior, these are the Luo Feng, Hong and Thunder God I was talking about. Luo Feng and his team were chatting with the North Dragon Castle people. Hurrah was introducing them. This is my senior Kazanlun. You guys are the ones who saved my 2 juniors, thank you. Oh, I still have important matters to attend to, I'll let Hurrah entertain you guys. Kazanlun smiled and left. His entire body was skinny, about 1.5 m tall, his eyes glowed with a green light, his entire being was filled with killing intent. Watching Kazanlun leave, Luo Feng, Hong and Thunder God exchanged glances. Obviously he didn't care about them at all. It was only because of Hurrah's face that he made the trip over. My senior is this person, don't mind him. Hurrah explained. No problem. Luo Feng smiled. Our North Dragon Castle camp has a total of about 2,100 people. Every 100 people are split into a square formation. The main thing is to prevent chaos. Hurrah pointed around. There were explorers all around. Every 100 people were grouped together. This way, If chaos were to happen in one formation, it wouldn't affect the others. Where do you want to go? Right now there are 6 formations, there are quite a few empty people. Hurua smiled. Try to get close to your North Dragon Castle camp. Luo Feng said. Alright, no problem. North Dragon Castle Camp's 18th formation, that was where Luo Feng and his team were currently at. The second day's dawn. After chatting with the other members of the formation for half the night, Luo Feng and his team learned quite a bit of information. So, the treasure is right there. Luo Feng looked at the center of the 5 big camps. There was a castle built on the plains, a completely dark blue castle. The 5 big camps' guess is very logical. Thunder God nodded. In the entire world within a world, swamps, deserts, lakes, plains, mountain ranges, grass plains, etc. are all natural environments. Only this one structure. And it's even built in the center of the world within a world. Above it is the light ball. This kind of castle is indeed very likely to be the location of the treasure. Treasure! Within the castle is the treasure, however, the 5 big camps don't dare to touch it. Hong laughed and said, It's very normal. At the start, there weren't many people from the 5 camps in the core area. They were worried that once a fight broke out, a large number of independent adventurers would benefit from it. Therefore, they began to draw people to their side. With one side drawing, all 5 sides were drawing. Then, they looked for an opportunity and started to snatch it. I wonder when we'll make our move, Thunder God muttered. They're not in a hurry. The vanguard of the 2 million army outside has probably just entered the world within a world. Luo Feng smiled. From the edge of the world within a world to the core region, there's still about another 7 days. Therefore, the battle is likely to break out within 7 days. Luo Feng's prediction was correct. On the 3rd day after they joined the North Dragon City camp, something big happened. Within the world within a world, a white ball of light floated in the air, sprinkling down light. Xiao! 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 In the sky, numerous black shadows suddenly flew toward the 5 camps from afar. So many people? Why are there so many people all of a sudden? Commotion broke out in the 5 camp. Luo Feng was in the crowd, raising his head to look at the sky. With a glance he could roughly estimate the number. About 600 people? And from the looks of it, they should be from the same power. 600 people to the 5 camps has completely affected the balance. The 5 camps, over 10,000 explorers were all discussing softly. Black Dragon Mountain, Sakazin greets the 9th Prince. A loud voice resounded through the sky. We greet the 9th Prince. In unison, almost as though the sky and earth were rumbling, a large group of people from the Black Dragon Mountain sacred land all bowed respectfully. And in the sky, the 600 people were all clustered around a white-skinned youth. The youth stood in mid-air, his eyes like lightning, surveying the area below, his voice resounding in everyone's ears. I, the Empire's 9th Prince Brolin, wish to obtain this treasure trove. Those who obstruct me die. Silence. The 5 camps all quietened down. The Black Dragon Mountain camp naturally supported the imperial family, because the sacred land Black Dragon Mountain was the foundation of the imperial family. And the other 4 camps were in chaos. Powerful. In the crowd, Luo Feng looked at the incomparably arrogant 9th Prince in mid-air, shocked within. This 9th Prince didn't appear at the start, only continuously gathering his people in the surrounding areas, before suddenly appearing at the most crucial moment. In an instant, the Black Dragon Mountain side's strength greatly increased, catching the other 4 camps off guard. On the plains, the other 4 camps were all discussing softly. Your 9th Prince. A loud and powerful voice resounded from the 100 Tiger Building camp. A tall and sturdy youth, with 2 curved black horns on his forehead, looked up at the 9th Prince in the sky, saying loudly, This world within a world's treasure trove, for you to swallow it all by yourself, isn't that too chi? A blinding white light immediately pierced through the tall and sturdy youth, causing his head to turn into nothingness. Silence. The 5 camps were all stunned. Within their field of vision, there was still the remnants of that white light. Everyone was stunned, they all understood what had happened. Just before, a laser light had killed the leader of the 100 Tiger building camp. In the crowd, Luo Feng and the others were all shocked. Thunder God said softly, "That was too fast, that laser weapon didn't seem to have any time to prepare, it instantly fired." It was very fast, an instant kill. Luo Feng was shocked within. Back then, he had used AB 6 grade laser cannon to attack the golden horned beast, and that laser cannon required a certain amount of time to prepare before firing, and just now, that laser had no warning at all. In the sky, there were 9 bodyguards standing behind the 9th prince. Each of them was holding a weapon that was about 3 meters long and had a diameter of about 30 centimeters. It looked like a magnified version of the rocket launcher on Earth. Let me introduce everyone. C2 grade laser guns, 9 of them. This is the newest model, I just got them. The 9th prince's gaze swept below, noticing that the leaders of the other camps were all pale. He couldn't help but laugh. As for power, 1 shot is enough to kill a universe level 2 warrior. This time I came to the world of Thunder for the trainee exam. For safety, I brought a few along. I didn't expect to encounter a world within a world. I believe there won't be anyone stopping me, right? The 9th Prince Brolin's gaze swept across the large camps below. Everyone was dumbfounded. 9 C2 grade laser guns, normal energy weapons, once they reached the C grade, would be considered a restricted level. It was very hard to purchase, and even if one could, the price would be astronomical. A C2 grade laser gun, in terms of price, wasn't much lower than a universe level 1 or 2 slave. An astronomical weapon. Very good. Everyone is very cooperative. The 9th prince smiled as he swooped down. The 600-plus people swooped down. After which, the 9th prince brought the 600-plus people, along with a large group of people from the Black Dragon Mountain camp, majestically heading towards the castle. The other 4 camps were slightly hesitant, however they were slower by a step, following beside and heading towards the castle. The crowd moved forward. Luo Feng and his team were mixed in with the North Dragon Mountain camp. Damn, it was stolen just like that? Thunder God stared. How helpless. Luo Feng looked in the distance at the silhouette at the front. He has 9 C2 grade laser guns. His pinnacle strength can be said to be invincible. And he still has 3,000 to 4,000 people under him. His pinnacle strength and numbers, along with his identity as a prince of the Black Dragon Mountain Empire, killing the elites of those organizations, he has no hesitation at all. Hong shook his head. This way, his aura is already set, no one can stop him. Luo Feng and his team could only watch. North Dragon Mountain, Black Cloud Guild, 100 Tiger Building, Sacred Land Ice Seagull Country, these 4 camps, large numbers of people could only watch as this happened. Those 9 C2 grade laser guns, in a group of explorers that didn't have a universe level, that was an invincible weapon. Whoever he wanted to kill, no one would be able to escape. If he only had 9 laser guns, he wouldn't be able to intimidate the 10,000 explorers of the 4 camp. The main thing was that he had 3,000 to 4,000 people under him. Stop! The 9th Prince Brolin raised his left hand high up. Shwa! The Black Dragon Mountain Sacred Lands people stopped. The other 4 camps could only stop too. In the distant crowd. So handsome! Thunder God exclaimed softly. This is the power has been set. Hong exclaimed. No one can stop him now. Luo Feng watched quietly. After the 9th Prince Brolin gave the order, the other camp's people all stopped. The 9th Prince, Buluolin, brought his 9 bodyguards and headed towards the castle. Under the watchful eyes of over 10,000 people, they slowly and carefully walked towards the castle. Sang Bai, open the castle for me. The 9th Prince Brolin pointed at the castle. Yes. A bodyguard behind him said respectfully. The curly-haired bodyguard was dressed in a black alloy armor, Suddenly a helmet automatically formed, covering his entire body. After which, this bodyguard carefully walked towards the ancient castle, this ancient castle that had stood for over 10 million years. No one had ever opened it. The castle's door was 12 m tall, 8 m wide. The bodyguard walked to the door, placing both his hands on it, suddenly exerting strength. Over 10,000 explorers were all staring at the castle. The ninth Prince Brolin too stared at the castle, his face flushed with excitement. In the crowd, Luo Feng and his team watched from afar as the bodyguard pushed open the door. With the bodyguard's strength, the door slightly shook. There were still bits of dust falling from all directions. Chi-chi, bolts of lightning fiercely shot out from various parts of the castle. Large amounts of lightning surrounded the entire castle. In an instant, the bodyguard didn't even have time to retreat. The lightning had already pierced through his body. As though his hair had been burnt, with a chi sound, that bodyguard immediately turned into ashes, leaving behind only a red-hot alloy armor. This scene shocked the tens of thousands of adventurers. The ninth Prince Brolin's forehead was covered in cold sweat. With a flash, he retreated to the back of the group of bodyguards. If he had been the one to push the door open, he would probably have died. The lightning continued to revolve around the castle. The lightning grew more and more. Gradually, the entire castle became a lightning castle, bathing in the lightning. In the distant crowd, Luo Feng and his team were shocked at the scene before them. Chapter 348. Over 10,000 explorers, with a glance, all of them dressed in alloy armor, split into 5 large groups, almost like a steel warrior army. Under the piercing light of the Thunder Castle's twisting thunder, rays of green light were reflected. Almost everyone's eyes were burning with passion as they stared at the Thunder Castle. That was the treasure of the world within a world. What's going on? The ninth Prince Brolin creased his eyebrows as he watched. Your Majesty, for the explorers outside to reach here, it's still too early. We have plenty of time. Amongst the 9 bodyguards, one of them was a green-haired lady, saying softly, Right now we have the absolute advantage. Slowly watch. This world within a world's treasure will definitely be yours. Brolin looked silently ahead, the ancient castle that stood proudly bathed in the thunder. Suddenly, ka-ka-ka-ka-ka, the castle let out a low rumbling sound. The huge castle door began to slowly open. The door is open. Surrounded by his bodyguards, the ninth Prince Brolin's eyes gleamed fiercely, like a starving wild dog seeing a bone. There's a 99% chance of the treasure within the castle. Ka-ka, the huge castle door slowly opened, allowing people to faintly see the blurry layout of the interior of the castle. This caused the over 10,000 explorers gathered outside the castle to stare with wide eyes. Many of them even took out binoculars, looking longingly into the interior of the castle. Star Level 9, maybe on Bylon Star or some other normal life planets, they could be called kings. However, in the entire galaxy, or even the entire Black Dragon Mountain star field, they were normal soldiers, cannon fodder, bodyguards. This group of cannon fodder, because of the insistence of a lady with a strong background, Rania, gave them the chance to touch the treasures of the world within a world. This would be something that almost 99% of the people present would be proud of in their lives. The door is open. Within the crowd, Thunder God gazed at the huge Thunder Castle. The treasures are about to be taken away. Anyway, there's nothing for us, Hong said softly. Luo Feng laughed lightly. This treasure is too shocking. What's more, there's still that 9th prince. That's the 9th prince of the Black Dragon Mountain Empire. And that restricted level. C2 grade laser gun, even weaker universe level warriors can be killed. We'll just watch the show. The ones who aren't satisfied are the leaders of the other 4 camp. Luo Feng was calm. This world within a world's treasure, of course he had the ambition to obtain it. But while it was good to have ambition, if he was too hot-headed and didn't see his own strength clearly, he could easily lose his life. That laser gun only needed 1 shot. No one present could block it. Chaos. Only chaos or other sudden situations. Maybe I can take advantage of the chaos, but right now, there's no hope. Luo Feng's gaze looked ahead. The leaders of the four camps were right in front. The Black Cloud Guild, the 100 Tiger Tower, the Northern Dragon City, and the Ice Sea Divine Kingdom. The elite Star State adventurers of the four factions were all stunned by this ninth prince. No one came to stop or destroy it. They just quietly watched everything happen. Crack. The castle gate was completely open. Silence. For a moment, no one dared to enter the castle. The ninth prince stared at the castle silently, as if he was waiting for any changes to take place. Your Highness? The female bodyguard behind him called out in a low voice. Don't rush. Buluo Lin said softly, his eyes staring at the lightning castle in front. Within the crowd, Luo Feng too stared at the distant Thunder Castle. Suddenly, the lightning on the surface of the Thunder Castle swiftly disappeared. However, the old and broken castle seemed to have been completely renewed. Chi, chi, chi. Sounds resounded from within the castle. The entire castle lit up with beams of light. Very quickly, the beams of light enveloped the entire castle. Ha 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 ha. A clear and carefree laughter resounded from within the castle, resounding throughout the land and skies. Welcome everyone to the world within a world. I've been waiting for this day for over 10 million years. A thick voice resounded throughout the land and skies. More than 10,000 adventurers were stunned. What voice? Who's that? I don't know. Don't tell me the Sector Lord that created the world within a world isn't dead. Dream on, the world of thunder has been discovered for over 10 million years. The Sector Lord can't live that long, unless he's undying. If the Sector Lord back then became undying and hid in the world within a world for 10 million years, is that possible? Unless he's sick. Outside the castle, over 10,000 explorers discussed softly. Within the crowd, Luo Feng and the other two were equally shocked. This? Luo Feng, Hong and Thunder God exchanged glances. What's this? Luo Feng said softly. Do you even need to ask, to live for so long? It's definitely the dead Sector Lord's AI. A disdainful voice resounded within Luo Feng's mind. Alone for 10 million years, I wonder if this AI has evolved into a living AI. If it did, being alone for 10 million years, I'm afraid it's sick. Sick? Luo Feng creased his eyebrows. The leaders of the 5 factions, including the 9th prince, were all staring at the castle. In the air above the castle, beams of light converged, after which a virtual human silhouette appeared. It was a fat and stout white-bearded old man. The white-bearded old man squinted his eyes at the 10,000 people below. This caused the 10,000 explorers to be shocked. Most of them here had some experience. Gathering light into a human silhouette was usually an AI or technological method. Little punks, you've all come here to obtain the treasures of the world within a world, right? The white-bearded old man smiled as he gazed below. Right, the master placed his treasures in the world within a world, and I was the one guarding it. The master has a lot of treasures. Look. The white-bearded old man pointed to his side. In the air above the castle, beams of light converged and immediately a huge screen appeared. On the screen were large amounts of pictures of items. There were many pictures of all sorts of treasures, causing one to be dazzled. And at the very center there was a strange colored crystal ball. Inheritance crystal ball. The 9th Prince Brolin's eyes gleamed. It's the inheritance crystal ball. The other 4 faction leaders were all excited and expectant. Within the crowd, including Luo Feng, over 10,000 people were excitedly looking at the pictures of the treasures on the screen. The master has a lot of treasures. I've carefully categorized them. There's a total of 68 types, 312 items. The white-bearded old man pointed to the screen beside. Immediately a ranking appeared on the screen. Number 1 full set of Space Technique Inheritance Crystal Ball Bank Account Number, 3 accounts. Number 2 Master's Savings Bank Account Number No. 3 Domain Lord Level Bloodline Medicine, 1 portion. Number 4, number 68, level 5 genetic energy weapon fire wheel, silence. Everyone stared at the screen, it was too majestic. 68 types of treasures, some had 3 or 4, some had 6 or 7. This resulted in a total of 312 treasures. 2, crazy, it's crazy. The worst one is a level 5 genetic energy weapon. My God! With just one treasure, I'll become the richest person in our Cuna galaxy. Over 10,000 explorers' eyes gleamed, they were completely crazy. Luo Feng and the other two were excited too, their eyes almost popping out. 2, this is 2. Thunder God's mouth was wide open. No wonder the 4 organizations and 2 sacred lands don't care about universe crystals. Even if all of those universe crystals were added up, there's no way to compare to these treasures. The second most important bank account number. A Sector Lord Pinnacle Warrior savings. How much would he have? It's definitely more than all the universe crystals in the world within a world added up. Luo Feng couldn't hide his excitement. This Sector Lord is really rich. Babata's voice resounded in Luo Feng's mind. It's too crazy. This Sector Lord must have acquired some undying inheritance. Otherwise it wouldn't be this exaggerated. The full set of space technique inheritance. This meant that the space origin laws had all been analyzed. And the third most important was the Domain Lord bloodline medicine. It meant that one could reach the Domain Lord bloodline in adulthood. Like the Manka people. The moment one consumes it, it can completely change one's bloodline. And the 9th most important life fruit, there's actually 3 of them. No matter how heavily injured a Sector Lord is, the moment he consumes it, he can completely recover. To a Sector Lord, this is equivalent to having an extra life. I wonder how this Sector Lord died. He didn't even have the time to consume the life fruit. So rich, so rich. It's comparable to the poorer undying beings. Babata was very excited too. On Tsang Lan's star, beside a peaceful lake, was a wooden house. In front of the wooden house sat 2 men. Even though they were sitting there, one of them gave off the feeling of a huge mountain, while the other gave off a shocking cold aura. They were all wearing battle suits, battle boots, and black cloaks. The 2 of them were drinking the best fruit wine. The 2 of them revealed shock in their eyes. This Sector Lord Kabu, no wonder he was surrounded and hunted back then. His treasures are really shocking. The ice-cold man couldn't help but exclaim. The tall and sturdy man nodded. He even has a Domain Lord level bloodline medicine. I wonder what race it is. In the human race, the number of people who could reach the Domain Lord level could be counted on one's fingers. There were only a few races. For example, to create a Manka bloodline medicine, one would normally need to kill 6 or 7 Manka people to create it. Hence, this kind of thing made the stronger races extremely furious. Because their race's population was already low, naturally they would chase and kill those who had the medicine. Let's go to the base. The 2 men stood up, schwa. Their silhouettes gradually disappeared. As for their bodies, they had already reached the base of the Universe Mercenary Alliance over 10,000 kilometers away. Their speed was so fast, yet they didn't cause any damage to their surroundings. World within a world. In the air above the castle, beams of light projected down. The white-bearded old man pointed at the screen, smiling. Look clearly, this is the treasure my master left behind. Over 10,000 explorers lifted their heads in excitement. Who wouldn't want it? Any one of these treasures was probably worth 1,000, 10,000 times the entire Newland Shan family's wealth. P.S. Writing today was very slow. 1 chapter took over 3 hours. Today I'll write one. Everyone please forgive me. Chapter 349. Within the crowd, Luo Feng looked up at the distant castle, at the screen formed by the light beams. There were 68 astronomical treasures on the screen, causing Luo Feng to feel a strong desire to possess them. Probably none of the 10,000 explorers here didn't want to get one, it was just that they didn't have the ability to. It's a pity, No one dares to fight with the ninth prince. If the situation isn't chaotic, I can only watch obediently. Luo Feng's gaze swept across the distant front, at the ninth prince who was being surrounded. You want these treasures? The white-bearded old man laughed loudly. You only need to use thunderstones to exchange for them. Every treasure here could be exchanged for a lightning stone. Look, every treasure has a detailed price. Immediately the list on the screen changed slightly. Number 1, full set of Space Technique Inheritance Crystal Ball Bank accounts, 3 accounts. Every account costs 10 million thunderstones. Once all 3 accounts are combined, you can retrieve the Inheritance Crystal Ball from the Universe First Bank. Number 2, Master's Bank account, requires 8 million thunderstones. Number 3, Domain Lord Level Bloodline Medicine, 1 portion. Every portion costs 3 million thunderstones. Number 4, Number 9, Life Fruits, 3. Every one costs 800,000 thunderstones. Number 32, D6 Grade Rail Cannons, 3. Every one costs 210,000 thunderstones. Number 68, Level 5 Genetic Energy Weapon Skyfire Wheel, 1. Every one costs 100,000 thunderstones. The entire list immediately caused everyone below to go crazy. What's a thunderstone? I've never heard of a thunderstone before. To actually be able to exchange for these treasures, the thunderstones must be very valuable. The discussions were unceasing. Are you curious about what a thunderstone is? In the air above the castle, the white-bearded old man formed by the light beams smiled. Thunderstone, this is the name I gave it. This stone is a unique stone in this world within a world. Speaking of which, it's not worth much, but it's unique to this world within a world. Look carefully, this is a thunderstone. The screen showed a picture of the thunderstone, along with a large amount of detailed information. Silence. The 10,000 explorers all quietened down, carefully observing the appearance of the thunderstone, or using the quantum computer or AI to swiftly record it down. However, the thunderstone is different from the universe crystal. The thunderstone's energy is very low, hence your energy measuring devices have a hard time detecting it. To make things easier for you guys, this is the thunderstone distribution map. The white-bearded old man waved his hand again, and a map appeared on the screen. This is a simple map of the world within a world. The entire world within a world is divided into mountain ranges, swamps, deserts, etc. It can be split into 26 regions. The thunderstones are scattered in some of the 26 regions. The map shows the distribution of the thunderstones. Go! Go dig for thunderstones. You can kill each other for the thunderstones, I won't care. As long as you have enough thunderstones, you can exchange them with me for any treasure you want. The white-bearded old man had a hint of madness in his eyes. If you want a treasure, then go for it. I'll wait for you in the castle. After obtaining the thunderstones, come to the castle and exchange them for treasures with me. Go. The white-bearded old man's silhouette dissipated, leaving only the big screen above the castle. More than 10,000 people were silent. Then, the sound of discussion gradually increased. In the crowd. That's great. Thunder God lowered his voice, his face full of excitement. Luo Feng too was filled with excitement and joy. Using thunderstones to exchange, and a thunderstone unique to the world within a world. What exactly is this white-bearded old man thinking? Babata's voice resounded. From the way he spoke, this guy has definitely evolved into a living AI. Lonely for tens of thousands of years, living AIs also have emotions like being moved, longing, hatred, loneliness, etc. Being lonely for tens of thousands of years, this white-bearded old man is definitely sick. Babata, who cares if he's sick or not, as long as he can exchange for treasures with us? Luo Feng said within. Understood, it's rare for me to meet a living AI, I'm just surprised. Babata said. Living AIs were very rare. Because to evolve into a living AI was very difficult. First, one had to already have an extremely high level of AI, after which, after experiencing large amounts of things, along with a long period of time, only then would there be a chance of evolution. If one didn't evolve, AIs were just tools, and the moment they broke through, they would become a special form of life. Just like the pinnacle race of the vast universe, the automaton race was essentially a living AI race. It was just a living AI with a mechanical body, etc. Seize the time. Quick, quick. 171819, 3 large formations, 1 small team. Head towards the nearest swamp area on the map and dig for the Thunderstones. The people of the North Dragon City shouted loudly and swiftly split up. All the adventurers, if you want to leave the world of thunder and still be able to leave Song Star alive, then please help us. Quick, let's all move. This way, this way. Below the castle, the 5 groups swiftly moved. 200 to 300 people each formed a small team and swiftly flew in different directions. Begin the fight for the Thunderstones. Everyone was clear. The ones who dug the earliest had the highest chance of success. Luo Feng's group of 5 was from the North Dragon City's 18th formation. Right now, they had already formed a team of close to 300 people and swiftly headed towards the swamp area. The vast group of people broke through the air and flew swiftly. Crazy! Thunder God shook his head. This fight for the Thunderstones will make everyone go crazy. Just now I saw that the 9th prince, who was at the front, had a really ugly expression on his face. How could it not be ugly? Luo Feng laughed. This treasure trove was originally meant for the 9th prince to keep for himself. Who would have thought that something like this would happen? That's right, after a true absolute warrior dies, everyone will split their treasures. Back then, the master of the Unmo planet was like this sector Lord Kabo was the same. Luo Feng. Back when we first arrived, along the way I discovered 2 Thunderstone areas. Only back then I thought it had no value and ignored it. Babata's voice resounded. 2 Thunderstone areas? Luo Feng's heart was filled with excitement. That simple map of the distribution of the Thunderstones was very simple. One had to know that the entire world within a world spanned over 1,000,000 kilometers. That map only let people know about it. There were probably some Thunderstones in a certain area. As for the exact location, one had to slowly search for it. The Thunderstone's energy reaction is very low, much lower than universe crystals. Hence, searching for Thunderstones is very difficult for other adventurers. At least, in the early stages we have the advantage. However, once the 2 million strong army arrives, I believe that 2 million strong army will definitely bring along many precious scanning devices. When that time comes, our advantage will be gone. Babata said. Luo Feng nodded to show he understood. The treasure this time had already attracted the attention of the Black Dragon Mountain Empire's few large powers. How could the army behind not have made their preparations? Close to 300 people flew in the air above the world within a world. Along the way there were members who escaped. The Thunderstones are the real treasures. We'll go dig for them ourselves. Even if we rely on the Thunderstones to join other organizations like the Black Cloud Guild, 100 Tiger Building, Black Dragon Mountain, etc., I think those organizations will definitely be willing to pay a high price for the Thunderstones. When that time comes, we'll naturally be able to leave Song Star safely. If we're lucky, we might even be able to exchange for a treasure. Then we'll be rich. Many of the adventurers had such thoughts. After seeing the treasure, the ambitious ones would want to exchange for it. Like Luo Feng and his group, the less ambitious ones would also want to get their hands on the Thunderstones and join other organizations, using them to sell for a high price. This caused the close to 300 people to frequently escape during the flight, and the internal members of the North Dragon City couldn't control them at all. World within a world, the sky was pitch black. 5 beams of light were swiftly flying through the air. It was Luo Feng and his group that had escaped. Babata, how much longer? Luo Feng was in an excited state. According to this speed, after 3 hours and 29 minutes, we'll reach the Thunderstone region. Babata replied. Good. Luo Feng's blood was boiling. 68 types of treasures. Every one of them was worth thousands to tens of thousands of times more than what Luo Feng had on him right now. Even a single treasure was sufficient to make a region lord-level expert go mad with greed. One could only imagine how valuable these treasures were. If I don't fight for this opportunity, I'll be struck by lightning. Luo Feng thought. If a god blocks, I'll kill him. Thunder God used Chinese to shout. Crazy. Humans could go crazy. 300% profit was enough to make a businessman go crazy. 10 times profit was enough to make Luo Hua and the other financial investors go crazy. And the treasures Luo Feng and his group encountered, even a universe-level warrior would fight for it, domain lords would kill each other. These star levels? How many of them wouldn't go crazy? Along the way they met a team of explorers. After a slight detour, they reached their destination in 3 hours and 40 minutes. At this time, the sky was still pitch black. This was a grassy region, within the thick grass. There were 5 people squatting: Luo Feng, Hong, Thunder God, Tainan He and Ao Gu. About 800 m below, there are thunderstones. Within a 20 kilometers radius, there's a total of 128,926 thunderstones. Babata's voice resounded in Luo Feng's mind. There might be more in the surrounding area, however I'll need to search carefully. I can only search within a 20 kilometers radius. 128926? Luo Feng's eyes gleamed, his eyes slightly bloodshot. He still clearly remembered the exchange prices of the 68 treasures on the screen. The last level 5 genetic energy weapon fire wheel only required 100,000 to exchange. Meaning, the thunderstones discovered within a 20 kilometers radius were enough to exchange for 1 treasure. Luo Feng, how many thunderstones are there? Hong and Thunder God looked at Luo Feng. 128926. Luo Feng said softly. Hong's face immediately flushed red. Hong stared wide-eyed, his eyeballs almost popping out. He only said, Damn! We've really struck it rich this time. Hong couldn't help but say, We'll be even richer if we don't grab this opportunity. We'll regret it later. Luo Feng couldn't contain his excitement. Hurry down and start picking up the thunderstones. Nan He, you're in charge of covering the surroundings. Yes, master. Tai Nan He said respectfully. Chi. Luo Feng was the first to drill into the ground, after which Hong, Thunder God, Ao Gu and Tai Nan He followed. Go Mo Yun. Luo Feng's thoughts moved. Immediately slender vines extended from his arms, almost like 10 arms, swiftly extending and grabbing the thunderstones. P.S. First chapter here. Today is Saturday. Tomato will work hard to catch up. He still owes 1 chapter before Friday. And there was only 1 chapter yesterday on Friday, and it was late. Hence, Tomato still owes everyone 3 chapters. Work hard, work hard. Today's goal is 3 chapters. Chapter 350. The thunderstones were all very smooth, every one of them about the same size. The largest was only twice the size of the smallest. Simultaneously, the thunderstones contained threads of thunder energy. This made Luo Feng guess this thunderstone was probably a special stone that was born when the world within a world was opened. 128,926. Even if one picked up 100 in a second, it would still take close to 1,300 seconds. What's more, even if the cloud contact vine had many vines, there were still a few smaller vines. However, as it needed to drill through the ground, the time required was very high. Picking up the thunderstones takes quite a bit of time. Underground cave, Thunder God exclaimed. We have the cloud contact vine, hence it's faster. If we purely relied on fighters to find it, even if we had spirit readers, drilling would be troublesome. I estimate that over 1,000 people would only be able to catch up to the speed of 1 cloud contact vine. Luo Feng laughed as a plant, The cloud contact vine's roots were originally good at penetrating the soil, plus it was very thin, hence it could drill very quickly. If it was a human, with the world within a world's soil and rock sturdiness, it would indeed take a long time. Luo Feng and his team waited patiently within the cave, letting the cloud contact vine do all the work. 2 hours later. It's all done. Luo Feng was extremely excited. He couldn't help but touch the vine wrapped around his arm. Cloud contact vine, it's been hard on you. I've needed your help these few days. Come, eat a Muya crystal. Luo Feng threw a crystal to the cloud contact vine. The extended vine immediately wriggled excitedly. Because during its first evolution, it had already been recognized by Luo Feng. Hence the cloud contact vine was very attached to Luo Feng like a parent. This is a thunderstone. Luo Feng flipped his hand, a thunderstone appeared. The incomparably slippery stone seemed to have some thunder energy within, however it was very little. Let me see. Thunder God took it curiously. Over 120,000 thunderstones. Hong couldn't help but exclaim, this kind of encounter, it's really extremely lucky. Make use of the time. Right now time is thunderstones. Time is a treasure. Luo Feng laughed and said, leading the way towards the surface. Go, let's head up. The 5 swiftly reached the surface. Luo Feng, the thunderstones in this area, I estimate the area is more than 20 kilometers. Take a look around. Babata's voice resounded in Luo Feng's mind. Understood. Luo Feng and the other 4 quickly moved around the area. There are 16,924 stars in this 20-kilometer area. There are 9,156 of them within a 20-kilometer radius. There are 3,208 of them within a 20-kilometer radius. There are 853 of them within a 20-kilometer radius. Haha, we've struck it rich. Luo Feng, this 20 kilometers area actually has 159,835 thunderstones, close to 160,000. Babata shouted excitedly. Indeed. This area of thunderstones was spread out over a radius of nearly 100 kilometers. There were 2 areas that were relatively concentrated. One was the first one Luo Feng and his team mined. There were 128,926 of them. There was another place where nearly 160,000 of them were found later. In other places there were more than 10,000, and the lowest was less than 100. Fortunately, Babata's detection was very clear. This really is a great treasure. Thunder God was extremely excited. So many treasures. Tai Nanha and Aogu, the 2 slaves, were also amazed. These thunderstones represented incomparably precious treasures. That was a treasure that even the Realm Lord valued greatly. If they were to buy the star level 9 slaves, they could easily form a strong army. Dig. Luo Feng's eyes gleamed, ordering. Immediately, Luo Feng and his team began to dig. Relying on the cloud contact vine, they swiftly began the process of grabbing thunderstones. Luckily, this region was extremely far from the core region. Luo Feng and the others had been flying from day to night without stopping. They only arrived here at night. As for the other 10,000 adventurers, most of them were searching near the core area. After all, there were many thunderstones in this area. Compared to that, 10,000 explorers was really not much. Mo Yun, it's been hard on you. Luo Feng was extremely elated, feeling his blood boil. This time, after spending over 8 hours, they finally dug out all the thunderstones in this area. Not a single one was left. How many? Hong couldn't help but ask. 30. How many thunderstones do we have? Thunder God couldn't help but ask. Adding the 128926 we dug at the start, right now our total amount of thunderstones is a total of. Luo Feng smiled. 396201. Damn, close to 400,000? Thunder God stared. Just from this area, we've struck it rich. Hong laughed. That was indeed the case. This area's thunderstones, if it was any other team digging, they would probably have a hard time clearing it all. After all, some were scattered densely, some were scattered sparsely. Luo Feng relied on Babata to search and dig out all the thunderstones. In an instant, he obtained close to 400,000 thunderstones. That level 5 genetic energy heavenly fire wheel only had 100,000. Let's go, we'll make the best use of our time and head to the next place, Luo Feng said. Back when they were rushing over, Babata had discovered 2 places along the way. This was just one place. Right, the next place. Thunder God's eyes gleamed, almost like a beggar seeing a mountain of gold. From the core region to the first digging point they spent close to 10 hours. And the digging time was close to 11 hours. Luo Feng and his team continued to fly. After spending close to 38 hours, they finally reached the second digging point in the mountain range region. The sky was pitch black. This was a continuous mountain range region. The mountain range was filled with lush vegetation and trees. According to the simple map of the thunderstone distribution, within this 20,000 kilometers area, there are 2 thunderstone areas. However, 20,000 kilometers. Every area requires quite a bit of time. Normal scanning equipment is completely useless. Only the top 2 sets of equipment are effective, relying on these 2, to cover the entire 20,000 kilometers area. How long would that take? Stop complaining, just do your work seriously. A majestic team of over 1,000 people were spreading out and searching, and the conversation just now was between 2 of the team members. About 18 kilometers away from this group of troop. Luo Feng, Hong, Thunder God, Tainan He and Aogu, the 5 of them were squatting on the ground. We're in big trouble, Hong said softly. The 2 million army outside has already arrived. Luo Feng was anxious. At least in this forest, there's a team of about 10,000 people. They were preparing to head to the second digging point, but who would have thought they would bump into a team of 1,000, hence they immediately took a detour, but after taking a detour, they actually bumped into another team of 1,000. Along with the people flying in mid-air from afar. Guessing, in this mountain range region, there should be a large team of close to 10,000 gathered. There were originally only around 10,000 explorers. It was impossible for so many to suddenly appear. Then there was only one possibility. The 2 million army had arrived. Actually, when the castle announced the treasures, the 2 million army's vanguard had already arrived, only they were in the surrounding areas. And after 2 to 3 days, in the world within a world, many areas of the 2 million army appeared. As for the simplified map of the Thunderstone distribution, obviously the 2 million army had obtained it too. Quickly, continue taking a detour, Luo Feng ordered. Night within the mountain range. Luo Feng and his team swiftly took another detour. Along the way they bumped into another team of 1,000, taking another detour. After flying a few thousand km, they finally reached the second digging point. They haven't dug here yet. Luo Feng and his team hid in the thistles and thorns, extremely excited. Obviously, there were no signs of digging in this area. Babata's scanning also meant that there were many thunderstones underground. Thunderstones aren't like universe crystals, it's very hard to scan. From the conversations of the scouting team members, this large team only has 2 sets of the best equipment to scan, Babata said proudly, and that map of the Thunderstone's distribution is just a simple one. The entire world within a world is over 1 million km wide. At most it lets people know that there are thunderstones in an area of tens of thousands of kilometers. Dig. Luo Feng ordered decisively. The 5 of them swiftly dug into the ground. Tai Nan he was in charge of covering up the surface of the hole they dug. Underground. This 20 kilometers area, there are 210,397 thunderstones. Babata said. Cloud contact, it's up to you. Luo Feng didn't dare hesitate with a thought. A large amount of slender vines extended from Luo Feng's arm, swiftly penetrating into the soil, continuously penetrating in all directions. Babata was in charge of guiding. The cloud contact vine was in charge of grabbing the thunderstones. The vines extended into the rocks and soil. Touching a thunderstone, the vines would immediately grow leaves, swiftly wrapping around the thunderstone. 20 km long, under the terrifying gravity of the world within a world, even a star level 9 would need to fly for close to an hour. The most important thing was a 20 km diameter area, required multiple rounds of flying. These top-level equipment, due to its meticulous scanning, didn't cover a large area. For example, Babata's 20 km area was already considered very strong. Even if it was a 20 km scan, a 20 km area would require a total of 1,000 scans. Flying once in an hour, with 2 sets of equipment, it would still require a total of 500 hours to complete the scan. Underground. After excavating for over 3 hours, the slender vines swiftly shrunk, becoming smaller and entering Luo Feng's skin. Very good, this area has already been excavated. Go take a look around. Luo Feng communicated through his spirit reading. Everyone be careful, don't get discovered. Understood. The 5 carefully and swiftly exited the underground area, beginning to swiftly explore the surroundings. Very quickly, they had explored the entire area. This thunderstone area was 96 kilometers long, 129 kilometers wide. Such a large area. There were 3 areas that were more concentrated. There were 210,397 stones, just excavated, 128,302 stones, and 198,355 stones in these 3 places. The other areas were all below 50,000, with at least a few hundred. Overall, this area was much more than the last time Luo Feng excavated. Go to the next area, 198355. Luo Feng swiftly ordered. Every second counted. Every minute represented a large amount of thunderstones being excavated. When Luo Feng and the others were nervously excavating, there would occasionally be a few teams flying past. However, they didn't know that there were people underground. You all, go over there and dig. This area hasn't been scanned by the equipment yet. Yes, Captain. A small team finally rushed over to the area Luo Feng and the others were excavating. Captain, thunderstones, there are thunderstones here. What thunderstones? Quickly inform the head captain and the sector lord. Underground. Luo Feng, quickly, there are people digging underground. Babata's voice resounded in Luo Feng's mind. Luo Feng's expression changed, and the cloud contact vine was swiftly excavating. Every second, the amount of thunderstones it excavated was constantly rising. They've excavated thunderstones, they've reported it. Quickly, many members are coming down. Quickly leave. Babata roared. Cloud contact vine, quickly, quickly, quickly. Luo Feng ordered. The cloud contact vine swiftly retracted, not caring about the other thunderstones. In a blink of an eye, it completely retracted back into Luo Feng's arm. Go! Luo Feng ordered. Everyone be careful, the moment we're above ground, immediately follow me and run. Right now there are already over 1,000 star level 9 warriors outside. It's just a forest area, we still have a chance of escaping. Luo Feng instructed via genetic energy, the other 4 nodded. Chapter 351. Relying on Babata's scanning, Luo Feng was very clear on the distribution of over 1,000 star level 9 explorers outside. Only then did he have the confidence to escape. However, even though he was clear, there were over 1,000 people, there were too many. To evade so many people's eyes and ears, he had to be extremely careful, and with a bit of luck. Charge! Luo Feng communicated through his spiritual force. So. 5 beams of light shot out of the ground. Luo Feng and the others spent about 6 hours just digging. As the night passed, the outside world was already filled with light. Follow me. Be careful, don't make any noise. Luo Feng communicated through his spiritual force, swiftly entering the forest. As for Babata, the artificial intelligence lifeform, he quickly calculated the most suitable escape route. There's someone over there. It's not our people. Chase. Immediately, over 100 star level 9s swiftly chased after them. Even though Babata's calculations were accurate, they couldn't expect Luo Feng and the others to follow the AI's calculations. They've disappeared. They disappeared in that direction earlier. There were already a few hundred people floating in mid-air, carefully looking around. Only the trees were huge, the leaves were luxuriant, the places that had grown for over 10 million years had long become intertwined. It was almost impossible to see the ground through the leaves. Luo Feng and the others fled quickly and strangely. You guys this way, we'll go this way, quickly. Luo Feng and the others fled tens of thousands of kilometers in one breath before stopping. Phew, we've finally escaped. Thunder God rubbed his head, there were beads of sweat on it, laughing. That was really dangerous. It was very dangerous. If we were in the grass plains or plains, we'd be doomed. That would be the end. Hong sighed. Luo Feng nodded. It was because it was a forest area, with undulating mountain ranges, dense foliage, that made it easy to escape. If it wasn't for the forest area, I wouldn't have dared to take the risk when I first discovered so many people. Luo Feng laughed. Haha, Luo Feng, you punk are very cautious. Thunder God laughed. Right, how many thunderstones have we dug up here? Just now in that region, there were 3 places that had a higher concentration of thunderstones. We dug the 2 places with the most, 210,397 and 198,355. However, the second place, we only dug half of it, we didn't have time to dig it all. About 170,000. Luo Feng smiled. Adding it all up, we've dug up a total of 380,000 in this forest area. How many are there in total in that area? Hong asked. About 630,000. Luo Feng smiled. Not bad, we've dug more than half of it. Hong nodded, while Thunder God curled his lips and said, if that group of people had been a few hours slower, we would have taken more than 90%. At the first excavation site, we dug out nearly 400,000. At the second excavation site, we dug out nearly 380,000 of them. Luo Feng smiled. We've already dug close to 780,000 thunderstones. However, the 2 million strong army has already begun to occupy the various regions. Therefore, we must seize this bit of time and try our best to find more lightning stones. Once all the thunderstone regions are occupied, we will have no more hope. The other 4 nodded. Right now the 2 million adventurers' army had just arrived, some early and some late. Adding on the vastness of the world within a world, it would indeed take a few days to completely occupy the Thunderstone region. There was still a chance in the next few days. An inch of time is an inch of gold. Time was extremely precious now. Luo Feng and his team relied on Babata's scouting and constantly flew towards the distant regions. Because the 2 million strong army was constantly dispersing from the entrance. The further they were from the entrance, the more hope they had. This huge flight took more than 8 days. Luo Feng and his team didn't rest at all during these 8 days flying nonstop. They finally managed to get a piece of meat. The 2 million strong army has pretty much occupied all the Thunderstone regions in the world within a world. We don't have many chances left. Right now, let's return to the core region and head to the castle to exchange for treasures. Luo Feng and his team swiftly flew under the 1,000 kilometers large lake, after which they quietly rushed out of the water. Haha, these 8 days we've earned quite a bit. Thunder God laughed. Hong smiled too. We've earned quite a bit. Luo Feng was very happy. 8 days of non-stop flying was very tiring, but luckily they found a Thunderstone region that no one had excavated. Even though the amount wasn't as exaggerated as the second time, it was still very close to the first region's amount. Luo Feng and his team were extremely satisfied. After all, these 8 days were all about luck. The 3 regions we've excavated add up to a total of 112,5638 thunderstones. Luo Feng was extremely happy. After completing their search for thunderstones, Luo Feng and his team began their journey back to the core region. On the way back, Luo Feng and his team clearly discovered that the areas marked out on the Thunderstone Division map back then all had teams already. Every region had at least 10,000 people gathered. This made the small teams have no hope at all. Tomorrow we'll be able to reach the castle. Searching for thunderstones took 11 days, flying back took another 5 days, over half a month of non-stop rest. Everyone have a good rest tonight. In the forest not far from the core region, Luo Feng and his team finally stopped to rest. 16 days of non-stop rest. Tired? Even though they were a little tired, they were all very excited. The process of searching for thunderstones made them nervous and excited, and now that they were going to exchange for treasures, who wouldn't be excited? 30. What treasures are we exchanging for this time? Thunder God couldn't help but ask. We have a total of 12 million thunderstones. Luo Feng looked at Hong and Thunder God. Big brother, second brother, you guys have the list too. What are you preparing to exchange for? D6 grade rail cannon. Thunder God was filled with anticipation. That's a D6 grade rail cannon. Even a Domain Lord level 6 fighter would find it hard to block that shot. This type of restricted level weapon, and it's a D6 grade, it's definitely a sky-high price. If we leave this place, we won't have this shop anymore. Right. Luo Feng couldn't help but nod. D6 grade rail cannon. Hiding and shooting a Domain Lord from afar, killing them instantly. This type of restricted level weapon, many sector lords didn't even have one. It wasn't that they didn't have the money to buy it, it was just that they didn't have the channels. Or to sector lords, it wasn't worth buying. The 11th ranked Heart of Stars. Hong's eyes gleamed. This Heart of Stars, you guys know about it too. Right. Luo Feng was a little moved. The Heart of Stars was a very mysterious item. In the vast universe there were some planets that could nurture life, such as plants, beasts, humans, etc. These life planets all had life cycles. When a life planet dies of old age, within its core there would be a certain probability of nurturing a crystal that gathered all the remaining life energy, the Heart of Stars. Stupid, stupid, stupid. Stupid, stupid, stupid. That sharp and clear voice, filled with anger and dissatisfaction, shouted out. Oh, Babata? Luo Feng was suspicious. What's up? Don't tell me you're preparing to exchange for the D6 grade rail cannon, for the Heart of Stars? The D6 grade rail cannon, first of all, its size is huge, and second, the cannon shell needs to continuously accelerate within the cannon. Just the preparation itself takes about 30 seconds. The most important thing is, that automaton ship on Earth, that's an undying ship. Babata said, that's the undying that died on the UNMO planet ship. Right. Luo Feng remembered clearly. Back then, amongst the undying that died on the UNMO planet ship, there was indeed an automaton warrior. The automaton race is known for their technology. Within their ship, there's definitely something stronger than the D6 grade rail cannon. Babata said, in the future, we'll get something much better than this. Is there a need to waste the thunderstones? As for the Heart of Stars, it's a good item. It has an effect on the body's evolution, but the speed is too slow. It's very good for normal fighters. However, Luo Feng, you have the golden horned beast's body. Hence your body's evolution won't have any bottlenecks. You can greatly improve and evolve. There's no need to be slow at all. Babata said, as long as you have enough wealth, you can have many ways to evolve. There's no need to use the Heart of Stars. Also, you've made a huge mistake, that is, no ambition. Babata was unhappy. No ambition? How so? Luo Feng was suspicious. Looking at how you're preparing to exchange for treasures, are you planning to end it after you're done? Babata asked. Luo Feng said helplessly, the world within a world has already entered the 2 million army, all the Thunderstone regions have been occupied. Right now there's no hope of getting any more thunderstones. I believe after this, it'll be a period of slaughter. Everyone will be fighting and killing for the thunderstones. Under the 2 million army slaughter, my little team only has 5 people. Stupid! Life fruit, the 9th-ranked life fruit! Babata shouted. What's wrong with the life fruit? Luo Feng was suspicious. The life fruit contains large amounts of life energy. As long as a sector lord's soul doesn't scatter, no matter how heavy his injuries, 1 fruit will be enough to recover. It's a sector lord's second life. But what does it have to do with me? I'm not going to use it now, right? You can use it, why wouldn't you? Babata said, the fruit of life contains extremely pure life force. You should know the use of life force. I understand, don't the Muya crystals contain life energy? Luo Feng was clear. The Muya crystals can allow humans, plants and animals to evolve. Right, evolve. Babata said. The Muya crystals can allow humans to evolve, and the trillions of times more precious life fruit can also allow humans, plants and animals to evolve. Accurately speaking, it's a Muya crystal that's thousands and tens of thousands of times more advanced. Even a sector lord's injuries can be healed in an instant. You're saying, for me to consume the life fruit, let me evolve? Luo Feng asked. Wrong. Don't tell me you've forgotten about Earth. The result of some monsters swallowing the Muya crystals? Babata said. Luo Feng remembered. On Earth, during the Misty Island incident, there were monsters that swallowed the Muya crystals and self-destructed, while there were others that successfully evolved to the Emperor level. The main thing was cell activity. The stronger the cell activity, the more it could be consumed. Just like that tentacle monster, it became an Emperor-level monster. The life energy of the life fruit is incomparably condensed and pure. If you were to swallow it, you'd immediately explode. Babata said, only those with extremely strong cell activity, with extremely large bodies, can absorb as much life energy as possible to evolve. You're saying? Luo Feng's eyes lit up. Right, the cloud contact vine. Babata said. Right now, the cloud contact vine is at the star level 4 stage. Its limit is to split into 36 main vines, and every main vine can split into many smaller vines. At the same time, one main vine can reach a maximum length of about 30,000 m. At the same time, it has an equally large root system. Luo Feng's eyes lit up. Back on Misty Island, that Star Traveler level cloud contact vine, one vine was already 2000 m long. At the same time, the cloud contact vine's cell activity is extremely strong. Babata said, back on Misty Island you know that too. That average-looking cloud contact vine, even if it was cut off, it would quickly regrow. In terms of cell activity, this one of yours has been specially nurtured, it's much stronger than that one. In terms of cell activity, this cloud contact vine, because of its species, I'm afraid even a domain lord might not be able to catch up to it. Along with its incomparably large body. Shocking cell activity. Incomparably large body. This is the best medium to absorb the life fruit. Also, you don't have to worry about it exploding. If it can't absorb it, just cut off a few vines, letting the life energy dissipate. It won't die. Babata was extremely excited. Cell activity even stronger than a domain lord, 36 vines that are 30,000 m long, and an enormous root system. The moment it eats the life fruit, it'll definitely be able to rapidly evolve. Right now it's a star level 4, relying on the life fruit. Breaking through to the universe level in one go is definitely no problem. When that time comes, with the universe level cloud contact vine as a helper, you can easily kill the leaders of many teams and take away their spatial storage items, stealing their thunderstones. Babata was extremely proud. First invest in the life fruit, strengthening the cloud contact vine. After that, relying on the cloud contact vine to steal even more thunderstones, exchanging for even more treasures, that's the way of the king. Luo Feng's blood was boiling from Babata's words. The cloud contact vine was a very strong support plant lifeform, otherwise the UNMO planet master wouldn't have nurtured one himself. The moment it reached the universe level, with the universe level cloud contact vine's strength, the vines that emerged from the ground could easily kill a fighter. When that time came, even though the opponent had the numbers, killing the leaders and stealing the storage items wouldn't be too difficult. Right. What's 1,000,000 thunderstones? First let the cloud contact vine become incomparably strong, then get more thunderstones. Luo Feng made his decision. The next morning, the white ball of light shone down from the sky of the world within a world. Luo Feng and his team headed towards the core region. The core region of the plains, the Thunder Castle was right there. Luo Feng and his team looked at the distant core region. Third brother. Hong slightly creased his eyebrows. There are so many people in the core region. That's a lot. Luo Feng creased his eyebrows. In the distance, the core region of the Thunder Castle was densely packed with explorers that covered the land and skies. It was like a sea of people. It was much more than any team Luo Feng had seen on his way here. Seems like exchanging for treasures isn't that easy. Thunder God muttered softly. Chapter 352. The grass on the plains moved with the wind, and in the distance, a large number of explorers surrounded the Thunder Castle. So many people surrounding the Thunder Castle? Luo Feng looked from afar, creasing his eyebrows. The scene before him obviously showed that this large number of people were working together to seal off the path towards the Thunder Castle. Even if you had thunderstones, with them blocking the way outside the castle, what could you do if you couldn't enter? Big brother, second brother, I'll go find Lord Mingyu. Luo Feng communicated through genetic energy. Hong and Thunder God nodded. Luo Feng closed his eyes, swiftly connecting to the Virtual Universe network. Virtual Universe, Black Dragon Mountain Island 9-Star Bay. Luo Feng stood on his own lawn. Before him floated a screen. On it appeared an incomparably tall and sturdy man. It was the Virtual Universe Company's Black Dragon Mountain Military Department external manager. Haha, Luo Feng. Mingyu laughed loudly, smiling happily. Lord Mingyu. Luo Feng bowed slightly, expressing respect. I can see that the core region has been heavily surrounded by a large number of explorers. What's going on? Oh, monopoly. On the screen, Mingyu smiled. This is a decision made by the large organizations after finding out about the castle's AI life's bounty. They've all sent out 10% of their men, forming an allied army. Surrounding the castle, controlling it, forbidding anyone who isn't part of the organizations from entering to exchange for treasures. Luo Feng realized. Tyrannical enough. 10% of their men, that was about a 200,000-strong army. A 200,000-strong Star Level 9 army, sealing off the path towards the castle, that was simply too easy. That way, even if other random explorers acquired thunderstones, they wouldn't be able to enter to exchange. However, you'll be fine, you, Hong and Thunder God, the three of you have information and information. I've already sent them to the temporary command center under the name of my men. Hence if you go over, the 200,000-strong army will know that you are under my 3-axe mountain Mingyu. They won't stop you. Mingyu smiled. Luo Feng let out a sigh of relief. Cautious enough. He actually gathered everyone's information. The moment one wasn't on the list, they wouldn't be able to enter the Thunder Castle. Lord Mingyu, my little team still has 2 members. Luo Feng sent over Tai Nan He and Ao Gu's information. Alright, they can follow my orders. Mingyu smiled. Thank you, Lord Mingyu. Then I'll leave the Virtual Universe Network first. Luo Feng bowed. Haha, oh right, Luo Feng, you're heading to the castle now. You should have some gains? Mingyu asked, his eyes filled with anticipation. The situation in the world within a world, I believe Lord Mingyu knows about it. Luo Feng said helplessly, with the arrival of the 2 million army, My 5-man team has no chance at all. On the screen, Mingyu nodded slightly. However, we will work hard and not let Lord Mingyu down. If you risk your life and exchange for treasures. Luo Feng smiled. Don't worry, I won't treat you badly, Mingyu said straightforwardly. Thank you, my lord. Then, communication was cut off. A world within a world. The wind howled, Luo Feng and his team swiftly flew towards the distant allied army. Halt! The majestic army of adventurers was like an impenetrable fortress. Not even a mosquito could think of sneaking in. One of them, a man with a lion head, stretched out his hand and shouted. Luo Feng and his team landed. We are under Lord Mingyu of the 3-Axe Mountain. Thunder God shouted. Ah! The lion head man. His dark yellow pupils swept across Luo Feng and his team. Behind him there was a majestic army of close to 1,000 people. There was a total of close to 200,000 army surrounding the castle, of which they were split into 36 teams for defense. Every team had 1,000 people. At all times, they would maintain a high alert of 36,000 people, with another batch of people replacing them. They would definitely not let go of anyone not part of the organization. The lion head man lowered his head to look at the AI screen on his arm. The screen indeed showed Luo Feng and his team's faces and simple information. The lion head man carefully looked at the 5 of them. Ha! The lion head man let out a carefree laugh. So it's the brothers of the 3-Axe Mountain. The 3-Axe Mountain people aren't far from here. The 5 of you just have to ask around and you'll be able to find them. Thanks. Luo Feng smiled. The 5 of them immediately entered the vast crowd. And the lion head man communicated through genetic energy. 5 of you, do you have any thunderstones to sell? We're willing to pay 10 cubic meters of universe crystal for 1 thunderstone. My apologies, my lord forbids buying and selling. Luo Feng communicated through spiritual energy, glancing at him. Anyway, your lord doesn't know how many thunderstones you've acquired here. The lion head man communicated. Why don't you sell a bit and exchange for some universe crystals? Oh, let me think. Luo Feng smiled. After which, he brought the 4 of them and swiftly left. Watching Luo Feng and his team leave, the lion head man rubbed his thick big nose, scoffing unhappily. Obviously he wasn't happy about not being able to exchange for any thunderstones. The allied army was stationed, tight on the outside but loose on the inside. The 36 teams outside were incomparably serious, however the inside was filled with laughter and discussions. Even quietly, there were many transactions of thunderstones. As the saying goes, every man for himself, heaven and earth destroy him. Everyone was a star level 9, there were indeed many transactions of thunderstones. Within the crowd, Luo Feng and his team sat in a circle on the grass. The entire allied army also sat in groups of 2s and 3s. There were even many who scuttled here and there to carry out transactions. That lion head man before was really unscrupulous, saying 10 cubic meters of universe crystals for 1 thunderstone. Look, the transactions over here, there are people saying 100 cubic meters of universe crystals, even 200 cubic meters of universe crystals for 1 thunderstone. Thunder God said unhappily. Universe crystals may be valuable. However, compared to those treasures, it's nothing. Hong said. Exchanging for treasures. Luo Feng looked ahead, at the ancient castle. 1 minute, 2 minutes, 1 hour, 2 hours. Luo Feng looked at the castle for a total of 3 hours. Within these 3 hours, he discovered a few peculiar things. Occasionally, there would be people dressed in armor with helmets covering their entire heads entering the castle. In a short 3 hours, there were already close to 100 people entering the castle. Don't tell me in these 3 hours, 100 people went in to exchange for treasures? There's only a total of 312 treasures. Luo Feng said suspiciously. Haha, brother, you're wrong. A skinny monkey-like silhouette walked past and stopped, smiling as he looked at Luo Feng. Brother, out of 10 people who enter the castle, 9 out of 10 are here to join in the fun. You have to know, this allied army may be called an allied army, but it's actually split into many small teams, representing the various domain lords and sector lords. 2 million army, the battles later on will definitely be intense. Hence no one wants others to know they've acquired treasures. Hence, they'll arrange for their underlings to enter the castle, purposely misleading people. They'll even fork out money to let the other teams enter. Anyway, just entering the castle for a walk would earn them a large sum of money. Who wouldn't be willing? The skinny monkey smiled as he looked at Luo Feng. Luo Feng realized. A smoke bomb? Right. The allied army may be called an allied army, but they weren't united internally, they were all wary of each other. Brother, do you have any thunderstones for sale? I can give you a high price of 250 cubic meters of universe crystals for one thunderstone. The skinny monkey man laughed again. I'll give you 300 cubic meters of universe crystals for one thunderstone. Luo Feng looked at him. The skinny monkey laughed awkwardly and left. The thunderstones represented those treasures. No matter how high the price, it wasn't considered expensive. It was just that some people were bullying star level 9s who couldn't resist the temptation of money. 300 cubic meters of universe crystals, that was equivalent to 1 billion Ganwu dollars. How could normal star level 9s resist the temptation? However, those treasures, like a level 5 genetic energy weapon, when sold outside, it would fetch a terrifyingly high price. A normal level 3 genetic energy weapon would sell for 20 to 30 billion black dragon dollars, average price. A level 4 genetic energy weapon would sell for close to 100 billion Ganwu dollars. A level 5 genetic energy weapon would sell for close to 100 billion universe dollars. That was close to 100 million cubic meters of universe crystals. A normal domain lord who had just broken through to sector lord would feel the pinch. Only sector lord Kabo, this kind of sector lord pinnacle who was incomparably wealthy, comparable to a poorer undying, would have such shocking wealth. Time passed minute by minute. The ancient castle, people frequently entered, and almost all of them wore masks and helmets. No one knew who exchanged for treasures and who didn't. Who? Luo Feng took a deep breath. Wearing his alloy armor and helmet, only his eyes could be seen. He walked straight towards the castle. Walking out of the crowd, he walked towards the castle alone. This made many people look over, carefully examining Luo Feng. No one could confirm whether this person walking towards the castle was really going to exchange or not. Your Majesty, these are the thunderstones from the second large team. They've mined 2 regions and killed 3 small teams. They've acquired a total of about 1 million thunderstones. Within the allied army, surrounded by 8 bodyguards, the 9th Prince Buluolin sat there. Beside him a man respectfully handed over a space wrist guard. 1 million thunderstones? Buluolin received the space wrist guard, saying softly, "Pass down the order, get the other large teams to quickly send the thunderstones over. That inheritance crystal ball's 3 password exchange requires a total of 30 million thunderstones. We're still lacking a lot." "Yes, Your Majesty." The man nodded respectfully. Buluolin slightly turned his head, glancing towards the castle. At this time Luo Feng had just stepped into the castle. A bunch of poor bastards." Buluolin laughed coldly. "Going to exchange for treasures, all of them hiding their heads and tails. The last thing they exchange for are still the weaker ones. I don't even care about the second-ranked Thunder Sector Lord's bank account, only that incomparably precious full set of Space Technique crystal ball is the most important. More important than all the other treasures combined." "Your Majesty." Another man rushed in, bowing respectfully handing over a space ring. "This is the 5th large team's one. 68 million thunderstones." Buluolin's eyes gleamed, picking up the space ring and swiftly standing up. "Let's go, follow me into the castle, it's enough to exchange for the first password." "Yes." Buluolin brought his 4 bodyguards, not bothering to hide his identity, heading straight towards the castle, immediately attracting the gazes of countless people from the allied army. P.S. Chapter 1 here. Chapter 353. Senior, His Majesty the Ninth Prince Buluolin has gone to the castle. Within the 100 Tiger building group, Choyu said softly. Humph. The skinny man's silver eyes stared into the distance, snorting coldly. Buluolin has too much of an advantage. Firstly, he's the 9th prince, causing the sacred land Black Dragon Mountain's royal family to support him. Secondly, his grandfather's position in the sacred land Black Dragon Mountain is extremely high, and there's a group of people supporting him, causing the Black Dragon Mountain army of 500,000 to actually have 220,000 of them listen to his commands. This time there were close to 2 million troops. Black Dragon Mountain, Icy God Country, these two sacred lands each had 500,000 troops. 4 large organizations each had 200,000 troops. The 16 large families each had 10,000 troops. However, the 9th Prince Buluolin, due to his special background and identity, allowed him to control the 220,000 troops. This was a united 220,000 army. It was indeed a huge advantage. He split the 220,000 troops into 7 large groups, each with 30,000 troops. The skinny man snorted softly. With 30,000 troops plundering, who can stop them? The allied army was discussing, however, even though many of the elites were unhappy. However, in terms of position, they were merely the elites of the younger generation of the organizations. Their positions were far from a universe-level warrior. And as the 9th prince, his mother's bloodline was extremely powerful. Buluolin's position was much higher. If this was the outside world and not the exam world, with one order from Buluolin, killing a universe-level warrior would be easy. However, this was the world within a world. Buluolin could only follow the rules. Ancient Castle. When Buluolin brought his bodyguards into the castle, Luo Feng had already been guided by the castle's living AI, entering a cold ancient house. The ancient house was cold, a weak light illuminated the entire house, however the mottled marks on the walls spoke of its ancient history. Pieces of green-black bricks formed the walls, giving off an aura. What do you want to exchange for, little punk? A low voice resounded within the house. The house was silent. Luo Feng surveyed his surroundings. There was no one. Of course I want to exchange for treasures, Luo Feng said. Do you have any thunder stones? These few days, many people have purposely come here, yet they don't have any. The low voice continued. I do. Luo Feng waved his hand. Immediately a human tall pile of thunderstones appeared. Very good, the deep voice said. Footsteps could be heard from the corridor outside, following which a fat old man with a white beard walked in. His body was glowing. Luo Feng could tell with a glance that this old man was a living AI, just like Babatabak in the Unmo planet ship, an energy body. It's rare for someone to exchange. The white-bearded old man smiled as he looked at Luo Feng. Hello, old mister, I don't know how to address you. Luo Feng was very polite. No matter what, this white-bearded old man in front of him was an artificial intelligence, and he had followed Realm Lord Kabu and lived alone for more than 10 million years. This kind of existence deserved respect. Moreover, according to Babata, this white-bearded old man who had been alone for thousands of years might have become psychopathic, so it was best not to provoke him. Little guy, you can call me Lord Wu, the white-bearded old man said with a smile, a faint halo circulating around the surface of his body. Lord Wu. Luo Feng froze. What a strange name. Lord Wu, I want to exchange for treasures, said Luo Feng. Why aren't you talking to me? Why are you in such a hurry? The white-bearded old man was a little dissatisfied. Luo Feng said, Lord Wu then, since you're in such a hurry then exchange. The white-bearded old man's expression changed extremely quickly, becoming very cold in an instant. What do you want to exchange for? The level 5 genetic energy weapon, Ice Soul Blade. Luo Feng said, And the level 5 spirit weapon, suppressed void cauldron. The white-bearded old man was very shocked. And the last one, a life fruit. Luo Feng slightly bowed. Lord Wu, just these three. Just these three? The white-bearded old man's halo immediately became much more dazzling, looking extremely shocked at the black-haired youth before him. The level 5 genetic energy weapon, Ice Soul Blade, requires 130,000 thunderstones. The level 5 spirit weapon, Suppressed Void Cauldron, requires 180,000 thunderstones. One life fruit requires 800,000 thunderstones. The 10,000 kilometers area around this castle is my surveillance area. You don't seem to have much of a position in this explorer army. How did you get so many thunderstones? Luo Feng smiled. 10,000 kilometers surveillance area? Actually, Babata had already warned him about this. In terms of surveillance, even though the white-bearded old man's surveillance area was huge, like Earth's defense system, it covered the entire solar system. However, the surveillance area was huge, but the precision of the surveillance was much weaker. Lord Wu, you even have to ask about this? Luo Feng was shocked. Just asking for fun. The white-bearded old man blinked, saying casually, 3 treasures, all right, no problem. Luo Feng was filled with anticipation. Actually, exchanging for these 3 treasures was Babata's suggestion. According to what Babata said, the entire treasure list, the prices were a bit messy. For example, the entire Space Technique Inheritance Crystal Ball, that was a priceless treasure. In terms of price, it could be said to be a level 5 genetic energy weapon, Fire Wheel, by 10,000, 100,000 times. However, the Fire Wheel required 100,000 thunderstones, and the Inheritance Crystal Ball's 3 passwords added up to 30 million thunderstones, just 300 times. Another example was the Life Fruit, which was 800,000 thunderstones. And in terms of price outside, 1 life fruit was equivalent to a sector lord's life, more expensive than 100 fire wheels. Hence, the price wasn't the same as the outside world's. There were techniques when purchasing. The level 5 genetic energy weapon Ice Soul Blade, in the outside world, was 5 to 6 times more expensive than the fire wheel. The pressure void cauldron was 10 times more expensive than the fire wheel. However, exchanging here, the price difference wasn't that huge. Within the silent ancient house, a white-bearded old man surrounded by light stood there. The 3 treasures add up to a total of 11 million thunderstones. The white-bearded old man said, Lord Wu, please keep it well. Luo Feng handed over a normal space ring, killing along the way. Luo Feng had quite a few space rings on his hand. Ah! The white-bearded old man waved his hand. The space ring flew into his hand, after which he revealed a smile. It's exactly 11 million thunderstones. This is the level 5 genetic energy weapon Ice Soul Blade. The white-bearded old man flipped his hand, and immediately, a strange weapon with a silver-blue arc appeared. In an instant, the temperature of the entire ancient house plummeted, and the water vapor in the surrounding space began to condense. The blade of the strange weapon was incomparably sharp. The Ice Soul Blade floated before him. Luo Feng had a feeling like his soul was about to be sliced apart. He extended his hand and kept it in his space ring. This is the level 5 spirit weapon, Suppressed Void Cauldron. The white-bearded old man flipped his hand. A pure purple, almost copper-cast 30 centimeters tall cauldron floated before Luo Feng. On the cauldron there were large amounts of complicated engravings, thousands of times more complicated than the engravings on the soaring shuttle. It felt very similar to the golden engravings on the golden horned beast's body. Peculiar engravings, it caused the surrounding space to feel isolated, even though it was only 30 centimeters tall. It made Luo Feng feel as though the cauldron before him was infinitely larger, almost like a mountain with no end in sight. It made him hold his breath. Don't stare foolishly. Level 5 genetic energy weapons and spirit weapons, the engravings on them are all close to the origin laws of the universe. Every one of them is extremely powerful. However, only after becoming a sector lord and possessing the origin energy of the universe can one truly use them. Babata's voice resounded in Luo Feng's mind. Luo Feng awoke, extending his hand to keep the suppressed void cauldron in his space ring. My God! Just 2 level 5 weapons and he had no will to resist. Legend has it that the moment a sector lord battled, he could change the heavens and earth. One move could destroy all life on a planet. It was indeed true. Little punk. Those 2 are only sector lord weapons. And now I'm giving you a second life comparable to a sector lord. It's incomparably pure and mysterious life force. It's a spirit fruit formed from the universe, life fruit. The white-bearded old man's expression was serious. A strange translucent stone box appeared in his hand. Within the translucent stone box, there was a green silhouette. Life fruit, a strange crystal from the vast universe. It's filled with unbelievable life force. Even a sector lord that can destroy a planet with a wave of his hand has endless energy within it. However, no matter how much energy is used, no matter how heavily injured, the white-bearded old man was shocked, mysterious. This is the mystery of the universe. Luo Feng held his breath as he received the stone box. It opened. Within the silent ancient house. After the stone box was opened, in an instant, the surroundings lost all color. Only the green life fruit with water droplets on its surface was the most eye-catching. The green light shot in all directions. Waves of rich and intoxicating aroma emanated. The entire ancient house was filled with life force. The core source of all life was that green fruit, life fruit. Just this one fruit. If a sector lord were to use an entire galaxy to exchange, there would be countless sector lords willing to do so. Incomparably rare. Incomparably expensive. Inhale. Luo Feng took a deep breath. The aroma permeated his body. Every cell in his body was excited, almost as though he had eaten a rare treasure. The genetic material within his cells naturally began to change. His entire body's bones let out crackling sounds. His muscles too began to transform. Dummy, quickly close it. The moment it is opened, the life fruit's life energy will constantly leak out. Babata raged. Luo Feng shuddered. Only then did he wake up. He closed the stone box. Phew, that's unbelievable. Luo Feng looked at the stone box, wide-eyed. I've only taken 1 or 2 breaths, and I feel like I've evolved a lot. Dummy, just 1 or 2 breaths and you've lost hundreds of breath. Babata raged. Luo Feng happily kept the stone box. Thank you, Lord Wu. Luo Feng bowed. Haha, continue working hard, get more thunderstones. I have treasures here for you to exchange. The white-bearded old man smiled as he looked at Luo Feng. Definitely. Luo Feng smiled, turning and leaving. He will definitely return. However, that's after the cloud contact vine evolves. 2 chapters completed. Please support the monthly and recommendation vote. Chapter 354. When Luo Feng and the white-bearded old man were exchanging, the Black Dragon Mountain Empire's 9th Prince Brolin was in another room. Within the dark room, Brolin stood there, smiling and shouting, I want to exchange for treasures. Little punk, what's the rush? A low voice resounded within the room. 1 by 1, after this punk finishes, I'll exchange for you. Brolin's eyes gleamed coldly. 1 by 1? That person who entered before, he wasn't just trying to be mysterious, but was actually really exchanging for treasures? Brolin thought, after which he laughed coldly, closing his eyes and connecting to the Virtual Universe network. Virtual Universe, Black Dragon Mountain Island. This was a huge city. Within it were many palaces, rising and falling. Amongst them was an inconspicuous purple palace. This purple palace had 2 guards standing at the entrance. Within the palace, a fair-skinned handsome man suddenly appeared on the throne. It was the Black Dragon Mountain Empire's 9th Prince Brolin. Dressed mainly in black with golden edges, Buluo Lin sat on the throne, directly requesting for communication, contacting one of his 9 bodyguards. His 9 bodyguards were all his slaves, incomparably loyal to him. Of course, one had already died when he opened the castle door. Luckily, the Thunder Castle's thunder didn't destroy the space ring, hence the laser gun in the guard's ring wasn't damaged. So, a silhouette appeared within the palace, dressed in a black guard uniform, a head of green flame like hair shooting towards the sky. "Your Majesty." The guard respectfully knelt down on one knee. "Cachaluo." Brolin stood high above, looking down at the guard, ordering, "The punk who entered the Thunder Castle before me, dressed in an alloy armor and helmet. He has quite a few Thunderstones, and is exchanging for treasures with the Thunder Castle's AI." "What?" The guard was shocked. From time to time, there would be people entering the Thunder Castle, most of them were just to confuse others, not many were actually exchanging for treasures. "I'm very sure, he's really exchanging for treasures," Brolin said coldly, "hence watch him closely. Do you understand what I mean?" "Understood." The guard replied respectfully. "Very good." Brolin nodded satisfactorily, after which his body vanished from the throne. A world within a world. The white-bearded old man walked into Buluolin's ancient house. Seeing this, Buluolin smiled. "Kid, what do you want to exchange for?" The white-bearded old man looked at Buluolin. "The first password of the Legacy Crystal Ball." Buluolin looked at the white-bearded old man. "And a fruit of life." The white-bearded old man could not help but reveal a shocked expression. When Buluolin was exchanging, Luo Feng had just walked out of the Thunder Castle's main door. As he walked out, in the distance, the 200,000 allied army that surrounded the Thunder Castle, at least 10,000 of them looked at Luo Feng, carefully examining him. Luo Feng was very calm. This Thunder and Lightning Castle was frequented by people. Moreover, most of the people who entered it were just to confuse them. Most likely, not many people knew that he was really exchanging for it. "That's him. He entered before your highness. Keep an eye on him." Among the tens of thousands of people looking at Luo Feng, there were some with special intentions who were communicating via origin power. Luo Feng blended into the allied army and roamed around for a while, finally meeting up with Hong, Thunder God, Tai Nan He and Aogu. Aogu naturally activated his spirit energy barrier, preventing others from listening in on their conversation. "How did it go?" Hong and Thunder God looked at Luo Feng. "Everything went smoothly, according to the plan." Luo Feng smiled. "1 fruit of life, 2 level 5 weapons." Thunder God revealed a look of surprise and joy. "That's great, 1 fruit of life can allow your cloud contact vine to undergo a huge evolution. That way, our little team in the world within a world won't be as miserable as before, meeting a bigger team and having to flee. First invest, then produce." Hong smiled. "Third brother, do you remember what you said? When we get another batch of Thunderstones, we'll exchange for another fruit of life for my cloud contact vine." "Definitely." Luo Feng smiled. "TSK." Thunder God rubbed his nose, glancing at Hong. "Don't think too highly of yourself. The fruit of life is a good thing. If Third exchanged for it, the others might exchange for it too. And there's only a total of 3 fruits of life. When we get another batch of Thunderstones, I wonder if there'll be any more fruits of life." Hong didn't argue with Thunder God. This exchange plan, after Luo Feng discussed it with Hong and Thunder God, both of them were in complete agreement. Because no one knew before that the fruit of life could actually allow the cloud contact vine to undergo a huge evolution. Even Hong said if there was a chance, his cloud contact vine would evolve once too. However, Hong's cloud contact vine was naturally much weaker than Luo Feng's. Right now, Luo Feng's cloud contact vine was a star level 4, while Hong's had just stepped into the star level 1. Hence, with the incredibly pure and powerful life energy of the fruit of life, Luo Feng's cloud contact vine had a higher chance of absorbing it. Actually, the weapons we've exchanged for this time are already enough for us to do many things when we get out. Thunder God was all smiles. Hong nodded. With enough wealth, we can do many things. Luo Feng too was filled with anticipation. Ice Soul Blade, Pressure Space Cauldron. These were all level 5 genetic energy weapons and spirit weapons. These were weapons that only a Sector Lord could truly unleash. And Luo Feng, Hong and Thunder God were only star levels to them. Those two weapons were completely useless. If Luo Feng used a level 5 weapon, its power probably wouldn't even match up to the soaring shuttle. Only the most suitable weapon was the best. Hence, these two weapons, Luo Feng bought them to sell for money. These were level 5 weapons. Selling them in the world within a world would be a loss, however, if they were to be sold outside, then they would really be rich. These two level 5 weapons represented an incomparably huge amount of wealth. I have to think, what should I do with so much wealth? Thunder God muttered. Firstly, uproot the Newland Shan family. Hong said seriously, as long as the Newland Shan family isn't finished, there will always be trouble. The others are easy to deal with, but Newland Shan himself is hard to deal with. Luo Feng shook his head. To buy a universe-level slave, one can at most buy a universe level 9. Because that is the highest level of a slave, and that Newland Shan is someone who has obtained the Battle Axe Fighter title. A normal universe level 9 isn't his match at all. No rush, money makes things easier. Thunder God laughed. Everyone rest first. Luo Feng said softly, we'll wait till it gets dark before leaving the Allied army. For the Cloud Contact Vine to evolve, it had to be at its largest size to be able to absorb as much life energy as possible, and with its huge size, and the commotion of its evolution, there was no way it could proceed in the core region. We'll leave when it gets dark. Luo Feng and his team were very normal within the vast Allied army. However, there were people secretly watching them. The Allied army had about 200,000 people. With the habits of the star-level explorers, they couldn't possibly squeeze like the soldiers on Earth, because the moment a star-level speed exploded, they could move a few kilometers in a blink of an eye. And this was because they were in the world within a world. Hence normally the distance between each team was rather large. Like Luo Feng and his team gathered together, the others were just casually huddled together. And some of the bigger teams were even separated by 1 to 2 kilometers. If they were too close, it wouldn't be easy to manage. This bit of distance, to the star-level explorers, they could see them with a glance, and with a flash they could reach them. Hence the entire Allied army's area of effect was about 60 to 70 kilometers. And the powerful 9th Prince Buluo Lin was at the center of the Black Dragon Mountain Army, over 30 kilometers away from Luo Feng and his team, making it impossible for Babata's surveillance to reach Buluo Lin. And Buluo Lin's surroundings were isolated. His equipment was obtained from the Black Dragon Mountain Sacred Land. Compared to Babata, it wasn't too far off. Night, the wind howled. Within the tent, Buluo Lin closed his eyes and sat crossed-legged. Your Majesty, Cachalo said respectfully. You haven't lost sight of that 5-man team, right? Buluo Lin's voice was calm. No. Cachalo said respectfully. The entire Allied army, Your Majesty, controls about 20,000 people. With the spies we've planted everywhere, the entire Allied army is under our surveillance, and the entire Allied army is only 10 kilometers away. That 5-man team has no way of escaping our surveillance. Buluo Lin replied, suddenly opening his eyes. His gaze was like a sharp knife staring at Cachalo. Cachalo bowed. According to the Alliance Conference, killing is prohibited within the Allied army. Buluo Lin said coldly, It's not my place to break the rules. Keep a close eye on them. Once the 5 of them leave the Allied army's range, immediately send a small team to kill the 5 of them and bring back their spatial storage items, understand? Yes, Your Majesty. Cachalo said respectfully, I'll arrange it immediately. Go. Buluo said indifferently. Cachalo respectfully left the tent. At this time a man walked in, kneeling on one knee and saying respectfully, Your Majesty, the 6th team has killed 6 teams today, a total of 5,000 explorers. We've acquired a total of 259 million thunderstones. Finishing, he respectfully handed over a space ring. The 6th team has done well. Buluolin revealed a rare smile. Tell the other teams, let them work hard and seize the time to acquire more thunderstones. Yes. The man retreated. Within the tent, Buluolin held the space ring, weighing it, revealing a confident smile. It's almost 10 million thunderstones. I should be able to exchange for the second password. However, the thunderstones have pretty much all been dug out. The next step is to kill each other for the thunderstones. To the high and mighty 9th Prince Buluolin, even if these 2 million people all died, he wouldn't care. He was born in the royal family. His mother's bloodline was incomparably strong. He had seen too much of the strong eating the weak in the universe. With one order, over 10 planets' citizens became slaves. This kind of thing made him feel that killing those teams to acquire the thunderstones was a natural thing. As for arranging for people to kill Luofeng, Buluolin didn't care at all. Those 5-man teams, in Buluolin's eyes, with one order, he would just send people to step on the ants. Chapter 355. Deep into the night, the winds howled. World within a world's core region, the Allied army. Luofeng, Hong and Thunder God exchanged glances, revealing smiles. Everyone depart, Luofeng said softly. The 5-man team swiftly got up, seemingly casually heading towards the outermost area of the Allied army. It was very difficult to enter. One had to go through identity verification. Only those from the large powers were forbidden from entering. Leaving was much easier. After all, the large organizations and powers frequently sent people over to exchange thunderstones. Entering and exiting, there were indeed many people. Captain, the 5 of them are about to leave. Hurry and follow. Quickly. Everyone hurry. A small team under the 9th Prince's command, which had been arranged beforehand, also moved quickly. One had to know that the 9th Prince controlled over 220,000 people. Those 7 large teams, each had 30,000 people. And the so-called squad was also a squad of 1,000 people. Just like the patrols and sentries, they were made up of 1,000 people. In the middle of the night, Luofeng's team broke through the skies and flew away from the Allied army base. Behind Luofeng's team, a 1,000-man team flew into the sky, following closely behind them. Everyone, don't be in a rush to make a move. This place is close to the Allied army base. The moment they reach the base, we won't be able to make a move. Follow them first. We'll make a move after flying a certain distance. The captain of the 1,000-man team sent a low voice transmission to his subordinate. Ahead in mid-air, Luofeng's team. Haha, this feels good, this feels good. In mid-air, Thunder God communicated and laughed proudly. Just thinking about the life fruit and the 2 Sector Lord weapons, I can't help but feel excited. Before coming here, I was also worried that there would be trouble with the exchange. Hong smiled. From the looks of it now, everything is going smoothly. Big brother, second brother, once the cloud contact vine evolves, we'll be even happier. Luofeng smiled. Within he was filled with anticipation. When they went to dig for thunderstones before, it was completely because of Babata's early scouting that they were able to dig up so many thunderstones. And when the 2 million explorer army occupied the various areas and dug up all the thunderstones, they were about to enter the darkest and cruelest killing season. Luofeng was incomparably sure of this. Some of the Sector Lord's subordinates exchanged for treasures, some didn't. The Realm Master, who didn't manage to exchange for the treasure, naturally ordered his subordinates to kill and snatch it. In the eyes of those Sector Lords, even if they sacrificed 10,000 adventurers, it didn't count for much. What's going on? There's a team following us from behind. Luofeng frowned and communicated. There really is. Thunder God frowned. Are you following us, or are you going in the same direction as us for the thunderstones? Hong asked. Let's speed up and turn. Luo Feng communicated. Yes, master. Tainan He and Ao Gu followed Luo Feng's orders. Immediately, the 5-man team drew an arc in the air and quickly accelerated, turning into 5 streams of light as they flew to the left. In the rear of the 1,000-man team. Captain, they want to escape. We are now hundreds of kilometers away from the Allied forces' encampment. All members, listen up. Catch up to the 5-man squad in front as fast as possible and kill them, the captain ordered. Yes. Yes. Understood. In the dark night, the Star Level 9 warriors dressed in black alloy armors all obeyed the order, after which they all exploded with shocking speed. Becoming beams of light, they were extremely conspicuous in the dark night, almost like thousands of shooting stars, with different speeds, madly chasing after the 5 shooting stars ahead. The beams of light behind were closing in with shocking speed. Those were all Star Level 9 spirit readers riding on spirit weapons, much faster than Luo Feng's team. In Luo Feng's team, probably only the Star Level 9 Ao Gu could match up to them, however Ao Gu still needed to bring Hong and Thunder God. Not good. They've caught up. Thunder God's expression changed. Master, quickly escape. Ao Gu's old face was filled with anxiety. Luo Feng turned to glance. The beams of light behind were closing in with shocking speed. In an instant, the distance between the two was less than 1 kilometer. What do we do? Thunder God and Hong both revealed anxious expressions. Tainan He and Ao Gu, the 2 Star Level 9 slaves, were anxious too. There's 1,000 Star Level 9 warriors behind us. Luo Feng lowered his head to look at the screen on his arm. His heart chilled even more. The 1,000 lights were closing in on his 5 with shocking speed. It seemed like they were about to be devoured. Master! Ao Gu and Tainan He looked anxiously at Luo Feng. Thunder God and Hong were also panicking. Luo Feng's heart was in a mess. Ever since they entered the world of thunder, the world within a world, even though their team had met with danger time and time again, they had never met with such a desperate situation. A whole 1,000 Star Level 9 warriors, if they all attacked with their spirit weapons, Luo Feng's team would be finished. Unless to use the Golden Horn Beast? However, this place wasn't too far from the Allied army. The moment the Golden Horned Beast appeared, it would definitely be exposed. The moment the existence of the Golden Horned Beast was exposed, undying beings would probably descend upon Songlan Star and steal Luo Feng's Golden Horned Beast cub, turning him into a slave or something. Beast taming, slave soul imprints, such methods, in the vast universe, not even the master of Yun Mo planet knew. When that time comes, Luo Feng was destined to become someone else's slave. Kill! The captain ordered. Yes. The hundreds of silhouettes behind replied in unison. Xiao! 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 Covering the skies and covering the earth, densely packed, large amounts of spirit weapons pierced through the air, like a rain of arrows shooting towards Luo Feng's team. At this time, Hong, Thunder God, Tainan He and Ao Gu were all filled with despair. Go! Luo Feng stared hard at the large amount of arrows in front of him. Rumble! Out of nowhere, a huge object appeared in front of Luo Feng's team. Only a series of collisions could be heard. The huge object didn't move at all. This was a disc-shaped universe ship with a diameter of about 100 m. It was completely black. It was a C9 grade. Even a universe level 5 or 6 would have a hard time destroying this ship. In the universe, there was no telling when a ship would be used. Even though there was one docked at Songlan Star's docking bay, to Luo Feng, who had his teacher's first account, buying a few universe ships was very easy. Ship! He actually brought a ship. He definitely has a space storage item that's over 100 m long and wide. Quickly kill them. The hundreds of Star Level 9 spirit readers, after their first wave of spirit weapons failed, immediately moved their thoughts. The spirit weapons immediately turned and flew past the ship like lightning, heading towards Luo Feng's team. Master, quickly! Quickly flee! Luo Feng, Hong and Thunder God swiftly rushed towards the ship's cabin door. Luckily, when Luo Feng summoned the ship, the cabin door was facing them. However, its flying speed was far slower than the spirit weapons. Luckily, Luo Feng's team was closer to the cabin door. Quickly! Quickly! Hong and Thunder God's eyes were bloodshot. Charge in! Luo Feng's eyes were bloodshot too. Aogu and Tainan he brought up the rear. The hundreds of spirit weapons flew in an arc, like a concentrated rain of arrows shooting over. Blocking the front was the Star Level 9 fighter Tainan he. Behind him was the Star Level 9 spirit reader Aogu. Poochie! 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 Like a rain of arrows, the spirit weapons pierced through Tainan he, turning him into a sieve against hundreds of spirit weapons of the same level. Even the battle-axe fighter, Star Level 9, would die without a doubt. Rumble! Rumble! The outer cabin door and the inner door closed down. They were sealed off from the outside world. So, the universe ship ferociously accelerated, leaving the group of Star Level 9 far behind, swiftly disappearing without a trace. 1,000 silhouettes floated in the air, looking at the universe ship disappearing into the distance, feeling helpless. 1,000 people killing 5 people, and we still let them escape? The bearded captain raged. How are we going to explain this to His Majesty when we return? Captain, don't blame us. Who knew they had a universe ship? Right, a universe ship has a diameter of at least 100 m. The 5 of them actually had a space ring with such a large space, it's unbelievable. HM. The captain nodded. Such a large space ring, it's indeed unbelievable. The universe ship swiftly left the core region. Its speed was 100 to 1,000 times faster than a human's flying speed. Within the ship. Quick, Aogu, hurry and absorb the life energy within the Muya crystal. Luo Feng, Hong and Thunder God anxiously surrounded Aogu. Aogu's alloy armor had long since fallen off. His body from his chest down had been turned to mush, only the area above his chest was intact. Just now, a few hundred spirit weapons had shot over. Tainan he, who was at the very front, had instantly exploded into mush. He couldn't be more dead. And Aogu was standing behind Tainan he, relying on the hybrid copper essence shard to barely protect his head. As for the area below his chest, the spirit weapons had smashed into his armor, the strong impact had shattered his body. Hoo! Waves of life energy emanated from Aogu's body. Aogu was slowly recovering. Bastard! Luo Feng saw the situation. Waves of rage filled his chest. Babata, whose people are those? Close to 200,000 people from the Allied army. Everyone's appearance and information has been recorded. These 1,000 people are under the 9th Prince Bu Luo Lin. Babata said. Back when Luo Feng entered the Allied army, when he was roaming around, Babata had naturally recorded down all the basic information of the people there, such as aura, appearance, strength, etc. Bu Luo Lin? Luo Feng creased his eyebrows. He was enraged within. Why is he chasing after me? I have no enmity with him. It's probably because of the treasures, Babata said. How does he know I'm exchanging for treasures? People often enter the Thunder Castle. Luo Feng's emotions were extremely unbearable, especially these 2 bodyguards. Tainan he's death, Aogu was almost finished. Humans weren't plants, they couldn't be emotionless. Even though they were just bought slaves, Luo Feng's ears were still ringing with cries of Master, quickly flee. In times of danger, Tainan he and Aogu had used their lives to block. Bu Luo Lin, Bu Luo Lin. Luo Feng's heart was burning with rage, it was unbearable. Very painful. Luo Feng, don't be in pain for now. Even though you didn't use the golden horned beast, but you used a universe ship, it's still troublesome. Babata said, a huge storage item that's over 100 m long and wide, it's incomparably precious. Back when I gave it to you, I told you not to reveal it, because this level of storage item, Even domain lords don't have many. And after this battle, that Buluo Lin will definitely value you. If he values you, you'll be in deep trouble. Value me? I'm the one who values him. Luo Feng roared. 2 chapters completed. Do you have monthly votes, recommendation votes? Everyone has a recommendation vote. I hope everyone votes for tomato. Chapter 356. Brolin. Luo Feng clenched his fists tightly, his knuckles pale, letting out cracking sounds, his eyes filled with cold, killing intent, waves of rage attacking his rationality. Third brother, are you all right? Hong beside was shocked and asked. He took a deep breath, suppressing the rage within. I'm fine. Luo Feng shook his head. The others didn't know, but Luo Feng himself was very clear. After becoming a golden horned beast, he was influenced by the golden horned beast's nature. Back then in the killing fields, madly slaughtering and venting, he felt much better, but because of that, it caused the killing intent within his bones to grow even stronger. Just like a drug addict, he couldn't help but take the drug. It was great. However, the addiction was even stronger. One theory, Luo Feng was currently addicted to killing. And the golden horned beast was one of the 12 pinnacle bloodlines of the space beasts. It had a strong offensive ability. That kind of cold and tyrannical killing intent came from its bones and soul. There had never been a golden horned beast that was kind. Third brother. Thunder God walked over too. I'm fine. Luo Feng squatted down, looking at the heavily injured Ao Gu beside, Ao Gu's messy dark red hair, and his extremely pale face due to his injuries, made Luo Feng bite his lip. Luo Feng looked up at his 2 brothers beside him. Hong and Thunder God were old enough to be Luo Feng's grandfathers. Of course they were concerned about the youngest, the most talented third brother. Big brother, second brother, don't worry, I won't be hot-headed. Luo Feng said. Phew, that's good. Thunder God nodded. We can't forget this grudge, we have to stay calm. Just like when your big brother and I experienced the Grand Nirvana period, back then, we were attacked by monsters, countless cities were destroyed, many humans died. However, no matter how much hatred or rage, we have to endure it. Compared to that, this little grudge really doesn't count for much. When the time comes, we'll just come back and kill. Thunder God was very casual. Hong nodded too. In terms of experience, Hong and Thunder God were indeed much higher than Luo Feng. I understand. Luo Feng nodded. What's more, the one who sent those people was the 9th Prince Brolin. Compared to Brolin, we have no way to resist at all. Brolin? Hong and Thunder God were shocked. Yes. Luo Feng nodded. When I was roaming around the Allied army before, I used my scanning device to record every single person's appearance and aura. That group of people are Buluo Lin's men. This is troublesome. Thunder God shook his head. This revenge will be very difficult. Hong shook his head as well. We'll have to endure for a long time. Luo Feng was clear too. With Buluo Lin's status in the vast Black Dragon Mountain starfield, he was definitely one of the top figures. We can't just forget about Nan He's death. Thunder God sneered. I don't believe that the other powers will just watch Buluo Lin's power grow. After all, Brolin only controlled about 220,000 of the 2 million troop. When they start fighting, we'll ambush them at the crucial moment. Hong couldn't help but smile. That'll have to wait for the cloud contact vine to evolve. Luo Feng said. The universe ship continuously left the core region of the world within a world, swiftly flying into the distance. Along the way, they avoided the teams of explorers. After all the news of a universe ship appearing in a world within a world, it was best to slow it down. At the edge of the world, within the continuous vast mountain range, a universe ship appeared in the air above, before vanishing into thin air. Within a cave in the depths of the pitch-black mountain range. Big brother, second brother, help take good care of Ao Gu. Luo Feng said. Hong nodded. Relax. Thunder God smiled. Master, I'm fine. Aogu, who had recovered quite a bit, shouted. Luo Feng glanced at him, smiling, and swiftly flew out of the cave, immediately arriving a few kilometers away. This mountain range's vegetation had been growing for tens of millions of years. It was incredibly luxuriant. Dressed in his alloy armor, Luo Feng stood on the dirt ground, his eyes like blades sweeping across his surroundings. Cloud contact vine. Luo Feng transmitted his thoughts. Howl! The cloud contact vine transmitted a joyful thought, after which Luo Feng extended both his hands. Immediately the vines madly extended in all directions with Luo Feng as the center. The vines that were at least 1 m thick, their lengths unending, were like super pythons that covered the skies and earth as they spread out. At the same time, these thick vines with no end in sight extended thin vines with many leaves, covering the skies and earth. Chi, 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 chi. Large amounts of vines and roots pierced straight into the soil, like piercing through tofu, swiftly extending underground. Every vine was at least 30,000 m long, that was 30 kilometers. There were a total of 36 vines that were 30 kilometers long. There were many thin vines and leaves on the vines, as well as lush roots. For a moment, the boundless mountain range, or at least the surrounding land, was completely rooted by the long vines. At the center of the area covered by the cloud contact vine was Luo Feng, dressed in his alloy armor. Right now is the most crucial moment. Luo Feng took a deep breath. Before him was a huge vine leaf swaying. With a flip of his hand, that almost transparent stone box appeared. Luo Feng stared at the faint glow within the transparent stone box, taking a deep breath and opening it. But, after opening the stone box, with a shake of his wrist, the fruit of life, that was emanating an intoxicating aroma, was tossed into the air, flying towards the huge vine leaf. Immediately the vine leaf fiercely extended upwards. The huge vine leaf was like a huge mouth, immediately swallowing the life fruit in one gulp. Chi-chi, the huge vine leaf swiftly shrunk back into the ground. It really makes one's heart ache. Babata's voice resounded within Luo Feng's mind. One life fruit, even a sector lord would value it greatly. Using it to exchange for a universe-level slave, he would be able to exchange for a bunch of universe-level slaves. And now it's given to the cloud contact vine to eat. It really makes one's heart ache. 10 birds in the forest are not worth as much as 1 bird in the hand. Babata, this is what you told me. I know I should do this, but it still hurts. It's such a waste of a treasure. Babata exclaimed. Luo Feng's thoughts, however, were all on the cloud contact vine. Babata, how long does the cloud contact vine take? Can't you see for yourself? Babata said unconcernedly. Suddenly, Luo Feng saw his armguard screen show the underground. The thick vine was glowing with a green light that flowed like lightning. The vine itself was like a heart, expanding and contracting at times. However, every expansion was greater than the contraction, causing the vine's volume to continuously increase. World within a world, core region. Allied Army, Black Dragon Mountain Sacred Land Army Corps, large tent. Pung! The teacup was like a bolt of lightning, fiercely smashing into the ground, immediately exploding, the shards flying in all directions, smashing into the tent. Bastards, 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 a bunch of bastards. Brolin stood in the large tent, letting out an angry roar. I told them to speed up, all of them were incomparably arrogant. And now? The inheritance crystal ball has 3 passcodes, and I've gotten 2. Just 1 more. Without that one, there's no way to get the inheritance crystal ball. Rice buckets, a bunch of rice buckets. Trash! Buluo Lin cursed madly. He no longer had the calm and collected attitude he had before. One couldn't blame him for being angry. He was in the Black Dragon Mountain Sacred Land, in front of his grandfather and a few other elders, guaranteeing that he would definitely get the inheritance crystal ball and give it to his grandfather. The 9th Prince Brolin was very clear. His position amongst the princes was special, because his mother's bloodline was strong enough. His grandfather had ordered. He naturally had to work hard to get the inheritance crystal ball and give it to his grandfather. However, who would have thought that when he went to exchange for the second passcode, the living AI, the white-bearded old man, would exclaim, "Little punk, your luck is really good. Of the 3 passcodes, only the last one is left. If you were any later, I'm afraid you wouldn't be able to exchange for the inheritance crystal ball's bank account password." Luck my ass. Good my ass. Brolin's expression was savage. Indeed. Only with all 3 passcodes could one retrieve the inheritance crystal ball from the bank. Without the other password, he had 2 passwords, but it was useless. Who? Brolin's breathing was rough, his gaze sweeping past the 2 bodyguards in front of him. The 2 bodyguards knelt on one knee, not daring to make a sound. "Your Majesty." A silhouette ran in from outside. It was one of Brolin's personal bodyguards, K2 Luo. Brolin stared coldly. The bodyguard K2 Luo was shocked, kneeling down and saying respectfully, "Your Majesty, we just sent a 1,000-man team to chase those 5, however, we didn't expect them to actually bring a universe ship?" "What universe ship?" Brolin creased his eyebrows and shouted. "Yes, universe ship," K2 Luo said. "The enemies rode the universe ship and escaped." The other 2 bodyguards kneeling beside glanced at each other, extremely shocked. There was actually someone who brought a universe ship into the world within a world. That was unbelievable. To create a space storage item, one needs to cut out the universe space and seal it within the item. Brolin creased his eyebrows, thinking, the bigger the space, the harder it is to cut and seal it. A high-quality storage item that can store a universe ship. It's said that only the powerful Undyings can create it. Every one of them is extremely expensive. Brolin was suspicious. These 5 actually brought a ship in. Brolin was very suspicious. Because he was the Empire's 9th prince, in the end it was his grandfather who doted on him and gave him a space ring, barely enough to store a spaceship. Back then his grandfather even explained in detail how precious such a high-quality storage item was. Maybe they got lucky and picked it up from some powerful warrior's ruins. Brolin didn't think any further. Pass down the order, send the information of those 5 to the 7 teams. If they are discovered, kill them. Brolin ordered, at the same time his eyes flashed with sharpness. Those 5 are a small matter. Right now the most important thing is to find out who has the last passcode. Chapter 1. Chapter 357. Yes, Your Majesty. The 3 bodyguards knelt on one knee, respectfully saying, "My speed was already fast enough. I didn't expect the other parties to be able to get 10 million thunderstones in such a short amount of time." Buluolin sat on the chair, his slender and fair fingers lightly tapping on the armrest. Suddenly, his eyes lit up and he ordered, "Pass down the order. Have the 1st, 2nd, and 6th brigades quickly move towards the core area. Spread out in all directions about 10,000 kilometers away from the core area." "Yes." The 3 responded in unison, swiftly leaving the tent. Buluolin was the only one left in the tent. He sat in his chair pondering. As for Luo Feng and the other 4, Buluolin didn't even think much about them. In the vast territory of the Black Dragon Mountain Empire, there were many examples of people getting lucky and finding treasures. What's more, within the borders of the Black Dragon Mountain Empire, he even dared to kill the elites of the other 4 organizations. There was no one he couldn't afford to offend. If Luo Feng and the other 4 really had a huge background, there would have been absolute warriors sending word long ago. To the high and mighty 9th prince, those 5 couldn't even be considered a match for him. Vicious, they actually stole the inheritance crystal ball's first password right under my eyes. Buluolin muttered softly, "I see God Country? 3 Axe Mountain? 100 Tiger Building? Black Cloud Guild? North Dragon City?" Any of the other families were possible. Buluolin couldn't figure out at all just who had the last password. About 100,000 kilometers away from the core region, in the vast grasslands, large amounts of explorers gathered. Tents were set up in the wilderness. These tents were made from the materials used to make alloy armors. They were incomparably sturdy. Within one of the large tents, a tall and sturdy chimpanzee that was more than 3 meters tall sat in the tent. His powerful chest muscles bulged out the alloy battle suit. His head was almost the same as the chimpanzee's, and his sunken eyes were filled with wildness and madness. Ape-man in the universe was of very large type. Amongst the ape-men, there were over 100 different races. Most of them were brave and valiant warriors. And he, Chacto, was previously a star level 9 under the command of the 3-Axe Mountain's absolute warrior, Sector Lord Tianqian. Originally, he was just a normal member of the countless star level 9 cannon fodder. However now, he. Chacto let out a weird laugh from deep within his throat, his eyes filled with excitement. I didn't expect that I would be able to break through. Ha, this world within a world is truly my lucky land. Lady Luck has favored me, Chacto. Chacto was extremely excited. Yes, he was excited, extremely excited, because he had broken through from the star level 9 to the universe level 1. When I was recruited from planet Weiku, I swore that I would become the greatest warrior. All of this has come true. It has come true. Chacto could not forget the life he had lived for more than 3,000 years. He was forcibly abducted from his hometown, planet Weiku. After training, selling, reselling, finally becoming a Sector Lord Jiang Tianqian's star system territory soldier, even if they trained bitterly to the star level 9 stage, they would still only be elite soldiers. After over 3,000 years of struggling, he was very clear, if he didn't reach the universe level, he was still a small fry. Star level 9 and universe level. The difference of one step was like the difference between heaven and earth. The moment I broke through to the universe level, I was appointed by the Sector Lord to be the main captain of the team, and the original main captain became my assistant. And the Lord even bestowed me with 30 life planets as my territory. Haha. I will definitely get 30,000 women and give birth to a bunch of children. Ape-man Chactor's heart was in turmoil. Lord! 2 voices resounded from outside. Come in, Chactor said indifferently. 2 silhouettes walked in, one was a star level 2 and the other a star level 3. They were the 2 leaders of the team under the other Sector Lord of the 3-Axe Mountain. The leaders of the teams were mostly star level 2 and 3. Because they were all elites, geniuses. Instead, a large group of star level 9s were all cannon fodder, because the chances of cannon fodder breaking through to the universe level weren't high. I didn't expect a stupid ape-man to break through to the universe level. This luck, it's simply heaven-defying. The 2 youths thought within. Lord. The 2 bowed slightly. One of the youths smiled. Lord Chactor, I wonder if you've gotten the password. One of the passwords within the inheritance crystal ball. I've already gotten it, and through the virtual universe network, I've told the great Sector Lord. Chactor's voice was loud and clear, however the surrounding of the tent formed an energy barrier, preventing his voice from spreading out. Lord Chactor is indeed powerful. The 2 praised. Ape-man Chactor nodded, that black nose spitting out hot air. Blales, the 2 of you have gathered your men right? Yes, Lord. The 2 bowed. Very good. Ape-man Chactor praised loudly, his eyes shooting out 2 beams of light. An intense energy emanated from his body, causing the 2 youths beside to feel as though the world had ended. Ape-man Chactor suddenly frowned. You 2 can leave. Chactor waved his hand. Yes. The 2 youths bowed respectfully before leaving. Normally these star level 9s were their bodyguards, however this cannon fodder ape-man had actually broken through to the universe level. One had to know that the chances of a universe level emerging from the elite geniuses was very low. In terms of position, they were naturally far below this universe level warrior Chactor. If they didn't break through, they would be cannon fodder for the bodyguards. The moment they broke through, they would immediately have a planet and territory, becoming a big figure. In the world within a world, there were a total of close to 2 million star-level 9s. And the 10 galaxies star-level 9s added together, they wouldn't even dare say there were 2 million star-level 9s. And these star-level 9 warriors were all chosen from the sector lords and domain lords. They were the elites of the group. Given enough time, 6 or 7 universe levels emerging from 2 million star-level 9s was a possibility. However, that required enough time. Hence, under such a life and death situation, it was normal for a universe level to emerge from the 2 million star-level 9s. How many treasures the 9th Prince Brolin had exchanged was a secret. Within the 3-Axe Mountain army, Chacter becoming a universe level was also a secret. And at this time, Luo Feng's Cloud Contact Vine's evolution was also a secret. At the edge of the world within the vast mountain range, Luo Feng stood amidst the plants, lowering his head to look at the screen on his wrist. On the screen, a blood-red vine was undergoing an incomparably intense transformation. Just like boiling water, the vine that had already become incomparably thick actually had green protrusions on its surface, after which the green was absorbed and the protrusions disappeared. However, occasionally some of the protrusions would explode, just like a bubble bursting. Chi-chi, large amounts of vines and thin vines were madly dancing. Even though it was evolving deep underground, Luo Feng could still feel the vibrations beneath his feet. Third brother! Third brother! 3 silhouettes ran over from the distance. It was Hong, Thunder God and Ao Gu who could already walk. Third brother, it's been over 2 hours, still not done? Thunder God ran over. HM. Luo Feng nodded, look. Saying that, Luo Feng extended his arm. On the screen was the scene of the Cloud Contact Vine's evolution. As the vine was simply too huge, even Babata could only record a part of it. The screen naturally only showed part of the vine's body. That's weird. Thunder God stared wide-eyed. It's shedding? Hong stared wide-eyed curiously. Luo Feng too stared hard. At this time the thick vine was undergoing a swift transformation. The outer layer of the vine was frequently shedding. The new vines that were revealed were swiftly twisting, becoming sturdy before shedding again, and the vine's entire body was constantly changing, growing thicker and longer. Just like a sapling growing into a huge tree, shortened to 2 to 3 hours. After eating the life fruit, normally it would take many years to evolve, but in such a short amount of time. Luo Feng said seriously, hence it's not weird at all. How big is this Cloud Contact Vine now? Thunder God asked. The scanning equipment is unable to scan the body of the Cloud Contact Vine, however, according to the calculations, the current length of the vine is already about 210 kilometers. Luo Feng said. 210 kilometers? Thunder God and Hong were shocked. 210 kilometers, what kind of concept was that? Even the shortest highways on Earth were only that long. This Cloud Contact Vine was that long? And right now the Cloud Contact Vine has a total of 72 vines. Luo Feng said. Thunder God and Hong thought about it, 72 vines with a length of 210 kilometers surrounding Luo Feng. It was too crazy. Compared to this Cloud Contact Vine, even the golden horned beast from back then was just a small dot. Luo Feng continued to stare hard at the screen. The evolution was still ongoing. As time passed, Hong and Thunder God didn't ask any more questions. Instead, they waited in silence. The long vine on the screen gave off a feeling that it contained endless power. Moreover, the color of the long vine had changed from its previous blood-red color to an even darker shade. It could be called a deep red. How? A huge wave of joy and longing entered Luo Feng's mind. The evolution is a success. Luo Feng's eyes gleamed. So deep underground, the 72 vines that had already reached 300 kilometers long swiftly shrunk. As for their thin vines, they swiftly disappeared. As they shrunk, the Cloud Contact Vine swiftly surged upwards, causing the ground beneath Luo Feng to arch. almost as though a huge creature was about to emerge. Rumble, after shrunk 100 times, the still huge cloud contact vine broke out of the ground. The 72 shrunk to 3 kilometers long, about 30 centimeters wide. Dark red vines danced in the night sky. Simultaneously, the incomparably thick and huge roots immediately enveloped Luo Feng, shrinking continuously. In the blink of an eye, the sky-covering cloud contact vines swiftly shrunk into Luo Feng's body, becoming incomparably small and cute. The root core entered Luo Feng's skin. The 72 thumb-sized little vines, still covering a 100 m area, after which they danced and formed a dark red armor, helmet and boots on Luo Feng's body. Even Luo Feng's fingers were covered in a dark red glove. Luo Feng could feel the power of the cloud contact armor on him. Even if he didn't use much strength, with just a punch, just the vine's explosive power alone was enough to turn a 100 kilometers area of Earth into ruins, the shock waves reaching over 1,000 kilometers. This power was even stronger than Luo Feng's own golden horned beast's star level 9 strengthening state. End of 2 chapters. Chapter 358. 30. Thunder God gulped, staring at Luo Feng, who was wearing the cloud contact armor. How strong is this cloud contact vine now? Hong Tu stared at the cloud contact armor on Luo Feng's body. Obviously the cloud contact vine's powerful aura had shocked them all. I'm not too sure either. Luo Feng smiled. Cloud contact. Luo Feng's thoughts moved. Immediately a 2 m tall cloud contact vine appeared from Luo Feng's body, landing beside him. Babata, test the cloud contact vine's strength. Luo Feng's thoughts contacted Babata. The cloud contact vine was a very special plant life form. Testing its strength was very difficult. Normally, testing a human's strength could be done easily with the mini quantum computer or AI quantum computer. Testing ferocious beasts, space beasts, etc. was easier. Humans and beasts were all flesh and blood life forms. Plant life forms, however, didn't have miniature planets like humans, hence testing them was much harder. Especially the cloud contact vine, the moment it possessed a body and melded into the skin, just like before, when others looked at Luo Feng and tested his strength, they could only see his own strength, but no one tested the cloud contact vine's strength. It was because of the cloud contact vine's special life form structure. Testing the cloud contact vine? It had to be separated from the body, existing independently, and letting it release its aura on its own. Only then could it be tested. Not bad. Babata was shocked. How much? Luo Feng asked within. The cloud contact vine's level is universe level 2. Babata said. The cloud contact vine is a very intrepid life form, at the same level, 99. 99% of humans aren't its match. Like this cloud contact vine of yours, if you nurtured it well, when it reached the universe level, it would develop 72 vines, every one of which is comparable to a universe level 2 human fighter, with the 72 vines working together, along with its shocking cell activity. Cutting off a section would allow it to grow another section. Even a universe level 3 human wouldn't be its match. A universe level 2 cloud contact vine, compared to a golden horned beast of the same level, was slightly weaker, and the golden horned beast at star level 7 could easily kill a star level 9 human. The cloud contact vine, with its cell activity and 72 vines, may be able to contend with a universe level 4 human for a while. After a while, Luo Feng and the others called out the universe ship, stopping it at one of the lakes in the mountain range. Spaceship, control room. Luo Feng, Hong, and Thunder God all stood in front of the control panel, looking at the virtual screen. Ao Gu was recuperating in his cabin. Scan the world within a world. Luo Feng ordered. Yes, Master. The ship's AI said respectfully. This ship was a backup ship. Babata didn't modify it, so the ship's AI was still the same as when the ship was made by Shang Clan. Beat. A huge scene of a world within a world appeared on the screen in front of him. Luo Feng, What's the scanning range of this ship? Thunder God asked. With the ship as the center, 100,000 kilometers. Luo Feng smiled. The detection range is quite wide. Hong nodded. Spaceships all came with their own detection systems. For example, when a space adventure spaceship arrived at a certain planet, it could, of course, scan the entire planet in a short period of time. However, this kind of detection was very rough. It was only a rough estimate of the population and whether there were any shocking energy reactions. As for the minerals of the planet, the strength of the inhabitants, and so on, he could not detect them. This type of detection emphasized on the range. As for Babata's detection, although it was only a 20 kilometers radius, once it was used, it could detect a planet's mineral composition, human strength, armor grade, alloy composition, human mental capacity, etc. It could be seen how detailed the detection was. Master, there are 32,169 humans within the detection range. The ship's AI reported. 32169? Luo Feng's eyes gleamed. How many teams are there? One team has 16,300 people, one team has a total of 10,000 people, one team has 5,862 people, and one team has 7 people. The ship's AI said respectfully. At the same time, the virtual screen was quickly divided into 4 images, each of which recorded the 4 teams. Among them, the small team of 7 was being hunted down by 3 of the teams under the command of the largest team of 16,300 adventurers. It's over, this small team of 7 can't escape. Thunder God stared. They can't escape, they've already been surrounded. Hong said. Luo Feng sighed to himself. In this world within a world, it was indeed very hard for a small team like theirs to survive. Our first target will be this large team of 16,300 people, Luo Feng said. Thunder God looked shocked. You have confidence? Hong asked curiously. Luo Feng nodded. On the vast grassland, a small team of 7 was currently being surrounded by several smaller teams of explorers. We surrender. We surrender, don't kill us, we have thunderstones, we're willing to give them up. The small team of 7 shouted loudly. Their faces were filled with fear, because in the distance in all directions, there were actually 3 teams, each with over 1,000 people. The moment these 3,000 people surrounded them, how could the 7 of them escape? Haha, surrender? Why would we accept your surrender? The 3 teams were still in the distance earlier. However, in the blink of an eye, they had already rushed over 10 kilometers, forcing the small team of 7 into the center. The 3,000 people from the 3 teams were all mocking at the small team of 7. As they had absolute confidence, these 3,000 people weren't in a rush to kill the small team of 7. Haha, killing you all, wouldn't we still get your thunderstones? A muscular man with black markings on his face laughed loudly. The faces of the 7 who were surrounded immediately went pale. Didn't you all recruit us? The captain of the small team of 7, a dazzling blonde handsome man, shouted loudly. You all said before, as long as we were willing to join you and help you get the thunderstones, you would use your organization's reputation and promise to guarantee our safety. Haha, silly. That was in the Allied Army headquarters. The Allied Army headquarters forbids killing. That's why we recruited you. And in other places in the world within a world, we'll just kill you all. Your things will all be ours, including those universe crystals. Pitiful rascals, you're all too greedy. The 3,000 people surrounded the small team of 7. The small team of 7 completely crumbled. Captain. The other 6 looked at the blonde handsome man. The blonde handsome man painfully shook his head, after which he raised his head and said, I beg you all, I'll give you all the universe crystals and thunderstones, please spare our lives. Still dreaming. So foolish. Pitiful rascals. The 3,000-man teams laughed. Stop playing, kill them. A bald man with fish scales all over his face shouted. Yes. Xiao. Shio! 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 Under the despairing gazes of the small team of 7, a large amount of spirit weapons shot over like a rain of arrows, instantly turning the 7 of them into sieves. And then, from the 3 teams surrounding the 7 corpses, a member swiftly flew over and took away all the treasures on the 7 corpses. Captain. The member handed the storage ring to the bald man. Amen. The bald man nodded. Let's return. Amidst the large group, the bald man with scales was preparing to check if there were any treasures in the interspatial rings. Suddenly, fast as lightning, a very thin vine broke out of the ground and wrapped tightly around the bald man's legs. Then, it fiercely dragged him into the ground. Putong! A hole suddenly appeared in the ground, and the bald fish-scaled man disappeared. The 2 vice-captains by the side were still smiling leisurely. However, from the corner of their eyes, they noticed some movement beside them. Turning their heads, the captain who was originally by their side had disappeared, and there was a hole in the ground? A hole? The 2 vice-captains stared with wide eyes, looking at the hole. Captain! What's going on? Where's the captain? The 2 vice-captains and the surrounding team members were all shocked. They were actually taken away right in front of their eyes. The captain is below, there's no sign of life, he's dead. A spirit reader shouted, 12M underground. Immediately, a group of Star Level 9 explorers drilled into the ground, quickly finding the captain's corpse and moving it to the surface. This, my God, the 2 vice-captains and the surrounding team members were all shocked as they looked at their captain's corpse. His head had already exploded. He couldn't be any more dead. The most shocking thing was, their captain's finger was actually broken, and that was coincidentally the finger with the storage ring. Quickly inform the big captain. The captain has been killed, and the storage ring has been taken. In the depths of the earth, a thin long vine was swiftly shrinking. On it was a leaf, and on the leaf was the broken finger and the storage ring. And on the vine was a bracelet. It was the bracelet with Babata's AI. Babata's signal, which had a radius of 20 kilometers, instantly connected with the spaceship's signal, which had a radius of 100,000 kilometers. Luo Feng. Received. Luo Feng stood in the universe ship. The 3 vines have each hunted the 3 little team captains. They've all succeeded. Very good. Continue to deal with the big team. Luo Feng said. All right. However, that big team may very well have a precision scanning device. They use that device to scan for thunderstones. That device will discover the cloud contact vine. Babata said, if I discover the device's signal, I'll choose to stop the hunt. Okay, the hunt, the prerequisite is that the cloud contact vine won't be discovered by the other teams. That guarantees its secrecy. Luo Feng said. All right, then I'll continue. Babata cut the connection. This hunt. The main thing was to rely on the cloud contact vine. The cloud contact vine continued to travel underground, and Babata set off with the cloud contact vine, in charge of being the guide. With Babata's scanning ability, it was naturally incredibly accurate. And the cloud contact vine's strength, it really didn't fear any other team. Author's note. Chapter 1 ends here. Chapter 359. The cloud contact vine's body was large enough and its cells were very active. Even if it was shot by laser guns or railguns, a part of it could still grow back. Hence, in this world within a world, the universe level 2 cloud contact vine was truly invincible. Over 10,000 kilometers away from the 16,300 teams, a universe ship stopped on the grass plains. Within the ship's control room, a long vine entered the cabin door, extending all the way to the control room. Cloud contact. Luo Feng intimately rubbed the cloud contact vine. Successfully killed 9 captains, acquired 12 space storage items. A voice rang out in the control room. At the same time, the vine's leaves unfurled, and immediately 6 space rings, 4 space bracelets, and 2 space belts fell to the alloy floor of the control room with a metallic clang. That large team's core has a precise scanning device, hence we can only kill the 9,000-man captains scattered around. It's been hard on you. Luo Feng smiled. Thunder God squatted down and began to fiddle with the storage items. I'll continue. The vine swiftly retracted and left the universe ship, heading towards another team. Let's see how many Thunderstones there are. Thunder God couldn't wait, his eyes gleaming. Let me see. Luo Feng smiled as he squatted down, picking up a space ring, revealing a look of glee. There's even a huge pile of universe crystals. Luo Feng and the other two inspected the items and categorized them. And the cloud contact vine, under Babata's guidance, continued its hunt. Luo Feng's hunt started off at the periphery. Hence it didn't have much of an impact on the 2 million army of the world within a world. After all, many of the teams were heading towards the core area. The core area within the Allied army. Within the most luxurious tent, the 9th Prince Brolin was sitting cross-legged with his eyes closed. Suddenly a person entered the tent. It was one of Brolin's 8 bodyguards. Your Majesty. The bodyguard respectfully knelt on one knee. HM? Brolin opened his eyes, looking at the bodyguard, saying coldly, What's the matter? Your Majesty, the 4th team has just been ambushed, and while they were fleeing they were being chased. The 4th Brigade originally had 300 million people, but now there are less than 10,000 people left alive, and during the escape, these surviving members were scattered. The bodyguard's forehead was covered in sweat. Buluolin's eyes flashed as he stared at his bodyguard. You said that there are less than 10,000 people left in the 4th Brigade? Yes. It just happened, the bodyguard said respectfully. Among Buluolin's 8 bodyguards, 7 of them were remotely contacting the 7 brigades. Buluolin himself was leisurely overseeing the Allied army. Tell me the details. Buluolin's voice was cold. According to Your Highness's orders, the 4th Battalion is stationed in the swamp area. They were also prepared to rob other teams that passed by. But tonight, just now, there were 3 powerful teams attacking the 4th Battalion from 3 directions. These 3 teams also had laser guns, and they had a huge advantage in terms of manpower. On top of that, the 4th Brigade was caught off guard, and they were instantly killed. 1/3 of the 4th Battalion was killed or injured on the spot, and then they scattered and fled. In the process of escaping, the other teams in the world within a world found out and added insult to injury. The people who are after us caused the 4th Battalion to have less than 10,000 survivors. The bodyguard said, Right now the 4th Battalion's survivors are swiftly rushing towards the core area. Buluolin was silent for a while. The 3 teams attacking the 4th Battalion, how many people are there in total? Buluolin asked. At least 60,000. The bodyguard said. You can leave first. Buluolin waved his hand. The bodyguard retreated. Only Buluolin was left in the tent. Buluolin squinted his eyes and thought, muttering, 60,000? The Thunderstones in the world within a world have pretty much all been dug out. This war immediately began. It was even faster than I expected. Also, an alliance of 60,000 suddenly appeared. Looks like the other parties aren't stupid. Buluolin controlled over 220,000 people. If the other parties were still scattered, that would be too easy for Buluolin. One had to know, behind each of the brigades were sector lords. Many great sector lords, some were friends, some were in the same organization. At such a crucial moment, it was normal for them to order their subordinates to work together. Has the war begun? Buluolin licked his lips, his eyes filled with madness. Then let them come. Virtual Universe, Black Dragon Mountain Island. Within a 2-story quiet building's courtyard, the 8-man Chacto sat on a chair. In front of him appeared 2 screens, each with a person on it. Lord Chacto, this time it's really satisfying. Half of Buluolin's brigade has been wiped out by us in an instant. I believe that Buluolin will definitely be furious. The 2 people on the screens were talking. The ape-man Chacto laughed loudly. The two of you, this is only our first attack. Buluo Lin controls far more people than us. After suffering a loss, he will definitely become more cautious. However, he has shown off his abilities. Now that everyone is treating him as an opponent, his days won't be easy. Right, he's just a prince, yet he dares to fight with us. This time we will teach him a lesson, let him know we aren't to be trifled with. The two of you be careful too, that Buluo Lin won't let this go. The war, just like that, suddenly began. Before, when they were digging for thunderstones, a few large teams, 10,000 men, above 10,000 men, all avoided fighting. However, ever since the three teams joined hands to attack Buluo Lin's 4th Brigade, the entire world within a world immediately became bloody. The various brigades were either fighting alone or teaming up, even forming an alliance of over 100,000 men. Many large-scale battles erupted in the world within a world. Origin power long-range attack. Rumble, rays of all sorts of dazzling origin power beams, over 10,000 beams of light, from one army camp, pierced through the air and shot towards another army. Star level 9 origin power, external attack. If over 10,000 origin power beams converged, the power wouldn't lose out to AC-2C3 grade laser cannon. Second team. Chi. 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 One spirit weapon after another gathered together, like a school of fish, as though commanded by one person, over 1,000 spirit weapons attacking a single point, and then collectively forming an arc, attacking another point. Elite soldiers. These Star Level 9 warriors were the largest powers in the Black Dragon Mountain starfield, the 2 sacred lands, the 4 organizations, the elite soldiers sent out. In terms of combined attacks, they were all extremely proficient. In an instant, the world within a world that spanned over 1,000,000 kilometers, battles were fought everywhere, fresh blood splattered everywhere. Within the swamp. A universe ship was parked within the swamp. Within the control room of the universe ship, Luo Feng and the other 3 were inspecting the space storage items. Haha, we've gained so much in an instant. Thunder God laughed loudly. Before digging for thunderstones, the various brigades' scanning devices were always on. And now that the digging has ended, the various parties are beginning to fight. Armies against armies, these devices are naturally useless. Luo Feng laughed. With their devices switched off, the Cloud Contact Vine can actually make a move on the main captains. A large team's treasures, 90% of them were in the hands of the main captains. Hence, even though Luo Feng and the others had killed quite a few thousand team captains before, their gains really couldn't compare to killing a main captain. How many thunderstones do we have? Hong said. Close to 610,000 thunderstones. From the main captain's space ring, we've acquired the 3 treasures he exchanged for. These 3 treasures are worth close to 800,000 thunderstones. Luo Feng laughed. It's still the hunting main captain, it's more worth it. Within the world within a world, the 2 million strong army was slaughtering each other. All sorts of schemes and plots were being carried out, as they could communicate through the virtual universe network. Hence the various teams could secretly form alliances. The skies were dark, and the sector lords behind the teams naturally wouldn't give up on the treasures. Even if they were to destroy that 10,000-man team, as long as they could get one treasure, it would be worth it, because with the sector lords' orders, this made the battles incomparably bloody. Star Level 9 fighters, spirit readers, they were truly cannon fodder. And during this process, Babata coordinated with the Cloud Contact Vine, launching sneak attacks one by one. At the start of the sneak attack, the various teams in the world within a world hadn't been alerted. After all, the teams didn't have much contact with each other. However, as the number of people attacking the main captains increased, one had to know how many large teams were there in the entire world within a world. Every large team had at least 10,000 men. When the sneak attack killed the 6th main captain, the sector lords who were commanding from afar gave their orders. In the world within a world, there should be a universe-level spirit reader. His spirit weapon is an expert in burrowing. He burrowed into the ground, ambushing and killing one main captain after another. All teams, please be careful. With the Sector Lord's reminders, the various teams naturally became extremely careful. This caused Luo Feng's hunting efficiency to drop greatly. Battles would always end one day. The battle in the world within a world lasted for about 1.5 months, from the initial close to 2 million troops, to the last remaining close to 600,000. One had to know, in the core region, there were 200,000 Allied troops who didn't participate in the battle. Meaning, of the 1.8 million who actually fought, there were less than 400,000 left. One could see the devastation. Amidst the dense forest, a universe ship was parked. Within the control room. "It's over, the battle has ended," Luo Feng exclaimed, touching the cloud contact vine beside him. The cloud contact vine happily twisted its vine body, after which with a pew, it merged into Luo Feng's skin, forming a battle armor. Even though we only killed 6 main captains, the other teams became more careful. However, the income is still not bad. Thunder God said proudly. Hong couldn't help but laugh. Luo Feng couldn't help but rub his fingers. The space ring was currently merging into his skin. 1.5 months. This 1.5 months' income was indeed huge. 9 treasures, 9.08 million thunderstones. Luo Feng revealed a smile, looking at Thunder God and Hong. "Big brother, second brother, we should return to the Allied base. These thunderstones have to be there, only then can we exchange for treasures." 2 chapters completed. The tragedy is, both chapters were late. Chapter 360. Right, return to the Allied base. Hong's expression became serious. Returning to the Allied base, it won't be easy. Thunder God rubbed his bald head and pondered. Luo Feng nodded. Right now, the treasures and thunderstones were in their hands. However, they still had to exchange for the 9.08 million thunderstones. The thunderstones themselves weren't worth much. Only after exchanging for treasures would they be able to display their true value. However, even though the war had ended, the various teams would still attack the smaller teams. Our 4-man team heading to the Allied base isn't safe at all. Hong creased his eyebrows. Those big powers teams, even though they've stopped fighting, they've damaged each other. However, a broken ship still has 3 kilograms of nails. If those teams see our small team, with their crazed killing over the past month and a half, they'll definitely make a move. Any one of them would be able to wipe us out. Luo Feng's expression was serious. 4-man team? These small teams, none of the big teams would show any mercy. The Allied base forbids killing. Luo Feng emphasized. However, outside of the base, there aren't any. Hence we have to be extremely careful on our way to the Allied base. Don't bump into those teams. Right. Hong and Thunder God nodded. We'll first rely on the universe ship. Luo Feng pondered and said, using the universe ship to reach the plains, after which we'll keep the ship and sneak over. I agree. Hong nodded. I suggest we leave at night. Thunder God mentioned. All right, then let's leave tonight. Luo Feng smiled. Even though his mood was good, Luo Feng didn't dare be careless. As the universe ship had a scanning system, along with a speed that was thousands to tens of thousands of times faster than a star level 9, it could easily avoid the other teams of explorers, allowing Luo Feng and the others to fly through the skies and into the center of the plains. Right now, we're only about 10,000 kilometers away from the Allied base. We'll have to rely on our flying. Luo Feng's thoughts moved, immediately keeping the universe ship in his space ring, simultaneously looking at Hong and Thunder God. Big brother, second brother, the universe ship's map shows that from here to the Allied base, even though it's only 10,000 kilometers. However, along the way, there are many teams stationed. Hong and Thunder God nodded. After a month and a half of frenzied fighting, many teams had been crippled, and many had retreated to the core area to recuperate. However, if Luo Feng's group of 4 were to pass by them, It would be like a dragon casually swallowing a tiger or leopard that passed by its mouth. Luo Feng's group of 4, once discovered by a large group, would definitely be killed. After all, to be able to survive until now, who didn't have a few treasures? Let's go. Luo Feng cautiously used his spirit energy to communicate. Whoosh, 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 whoosh. Luo Feng, Hong, Thunder God and Ao Gu followed their predetermined path, preparing to avoid the few teams stationed on the plains and reach the center of the Allied army base. 10,000 kilometers. To Luo Feng and the others it was a very short distance. If he burst out with speed, he wouldn't even need an hour in the world within a world. However, they were very careful and did not dare to move too fast. 6 kilometers ahead, there's a 1,000-man patrol team. This place was 3,620 kilometers away from the Allied army encampment, so this patrol team should be a branch of a large team. Let's go around them. Luo Feng glanced at the screen on his arm, using his spirit energy to communicate to the other 3 beside him. Hong, Thunder God and Ao Gu didn't dare relax either. They were currently dancing on the edge of a knife. The moment they were discovered by any other team, that would be troublesome. We've already gone around them. Let's continue towards the Allied army base. There's still 2,110 kilometers to the Allied army base. Go around ahead, there's a large team stationed there. There's still 800 kilometers to the Allied army base. Luo Feng and the others were extremely careful. Under the cover of the night, they quietly flew close to the plains, occasionally taking a detour, occasionally flying quickly, spending close to 3 hours before finally reaching the Allied army base. That's great. We've finally reached the Allied army base. Luo Feng and the others revealed looks of glee. During these 3 hours, they had been extremely tense, as the other teams would send patrols to patrol the surroundings. One couldn't blame them for being cautious. After all, the battles over this 1.5 months had been too crazy and intense. Ambushes and attacks were even more common. Because there were so many patrols, Luo Feng and the others didn't dare relax along the way. Phew, we've reached. Luo Feng let out a sigh of relief. Halt! One of the team leaders on guard outside the Allied army shouted loudly. Behind him was a majestic large group of people, with over 1,000 people escorting them. The leader's gaze swept across Luo Feng and the others. We're under Lord Mingyu of the 3-Axe Mountain. Luo Feng shouted. The leader lowered his head to look at his AI screen. Lord Mingyu of the 3-Axe Mountain indeed had information on these 4. Enter. The leader said coldly. Luo Feng and the others immediately flew into the Allied army base. The leader watched as they left, gritting his teeth and snorting. Bastards of the 3-Axe Mountain. If I didn't meet you at the Allied army base, I'd definitely kill you all and avenge my group of brothers. Bastards! Bastards! Luo Feng and the others walked within the Allied army base. The entire base was filled with killing intent. Many teams looked at each other, almost as though they wanted to eat each other. What's going on? Thunder God said softly. The last time we came, the explorers of the Allied army base were still calling each other brothers. However, now the killing intent is very strong. Luo Feng nodded. Walking through the Allied army base, there were very few smiling faces. Most of the explorers were cold. Many of their eyes were filled with hatred. The last time we came, the leader of the outer guard team was still smiling and welcoming. However, that leader just now was very cold. Luo Feng said softly, it's probably because of this 1.5 month of killing, causing the deaths of too many people. Many of those explorers in the army were good friends and brothers. Their friends and brothers died, hence they're like this. When Luo Feng and the others entered the Allied army base, heading towards the 3-Axe Mountain people, they didn't know that someone had already discovered them. It's the 4 of them. There's one less than the last time. They're actually here again. Hurry and inform the Lord. These are the people personally chosen by His Majesty. Yes. A few silhouettes within the Allied army base looked at Luo Feng and the others. after which someone immediately turned and swiftly ran to report to the Ninth Prince's bodyguards. Allied Army Base, Sacred Land, Black Dragon Mountain People's Corps, Big Tent. The Ninth Prince Buluolin sat in a chair, eyes closed, eyebrows creased, as though he was troubled by something. "Your Majesty." Someone ran in from outside, kneeling on one knee. K2 Luo. Buluolin opened his eyes, gazing at the kneeling bodyguard. "Your Majesty, our underlings have discovered 4 people. It's 4 of the 5 that Your Majesty personally ordered to be killed, and later escaped on the Universe ship," the bodyguard reported. Back then they were the ones who monitored Luo Feng and the others until midnight, following them to kill them. Hence they were extremely familiar with Luo Feng and the others' looks and strength. The moment Luo Feng and the others arrived, they immediately recognized them. "A Universe ship?" Buluolin's eyebrows creased, revealing a mocking smile. "I remember. 1.5 months of killing, Buluolin controlling the army. Compared to the war with the army, Luo Feng's group was just a small matter. Continue to monitor them," Buluolin ordered coldly. "Yes," the bodyguard replied respectfully. Within the 3-Axe Mountain camp, the teams under the sector lords and domain lords that belonged to the 3-Axe Mountain would gather here the moment they arrived at the allied camp. Luo Feng and the other 3 entered the camp. "Master, the last time we were chased by the Ninth Prince's underlings, they must have recognized us. Now that we've returned to the allied camp, their scouts should have discovered us, right?" Ao Gu communicated through spiritual energy. "Right." Luo Feng nodded. "Recognized?" This was within Luo Feng's expectations. However, even if he was recognized, Luo Feng still had to return to the allied camp. "Even if I don't exchange for treasures, I still have to safely leave the world within a world, safely leave the world of thunder." Luo Feng thought, however, if my guess is correct, there will definitely be troops stationed at the exit of the world within a world. The moment a small team leaves through the exit, they'll definitely be ambushed and killed. Only by following the main team will we be able to leave. Luo Feng was very clear on this point. As for Buluolin, what was there to be afraid of? After infiltrating the 3-Axe Mountain camp, before returning to Tsanglan Star, he had never thought of moving alone. He would always follow the 3-Axe Mountain's main team. With the main team stationed, he would follow. The main team would break camp and leave the world within a world, and he would leave the world within a world as well. "I don't believe that Buluolin would dare to make a move while I'm in the 3-Axe Mountain camp," Luo Feng thought to himself. "Maybe in Buluolin's eyes, he doesn't even see me as an important target." "Luo Feng! Luo Feng!" A voice resounded, waking Luo Feng from his deep thoughts. Luo Feng raised his head to look, only to see a skinny man, bringing a sturdy man with short silver hair walking over. The skinny man laughed. "Luo Feng, this is the captain in charge of our 3-Axe Mountain's second big team, Lord Bindi." Luo Feng was shocked, because the short silver-haired sturdy man in front of him had an energy that was clearly much stronger than the others. "Lord Bindi." Luo Feng bowed. Beside him, Hong, Thunder God, and Ao Gu also bowed. Before coming, with Babata's investigation, they found out there were a total of 480,000 people in the Allied camp, of which there were 6 universe levels. Obviously, after 1.5 months of incomparably cruel war, after using up over 1 million star level 9 elites, they finally forced out 6 universe levels, of which the 3-Axe Mountain camp had 2 universe levels. "Luo Feng? Lord Mingyu has mentioned you to me before." The silver-haired sturdy man smiled as he looked at Luo Feng and the others. Chapter 361. "You guys should be a squad of 5, right?" The captain, Bindi, looked towards Luo Feng's group of 4. As one of the 2 universe-level fighters in the 3-Axe Mountains camp in the world within a world, Bindi received detailed information. "There were 5 before, but one of them has already died," sighed Luo Feng. "Who killed him?" frowned Bindi. "The 9th Prince's men," Luo Feng wasn't feeling good. Luo Feng's mood wasn't very good. Even though Tai Nan he was a slave, there weren't any slaves on Earth. Therefore, Luo Feng subconsciously didn't treat the slave army as goods, but as bodyguards. So Tai Nan he's death touched Luo Feng's loyalty, but he was also angry towards the ninth prince. Ninth prince. Bundy shook his head. Then there's nothing we can do. Too many people have died under his command. We understand, nodded Luo Feng. Lord Mingyu will be very happy if you guys can leave this place alive, smiled Bundy. Just a reminder, I'm also under Lord Mingyu's command. Oh? Luo Feng, Hong, and Thunder God were all shocked. As the leader of the four organizations, the Three-Axe Mountain does indeed have many powerful sector lords and domain lord. Mingyu isn't one of the strongest in the Three-Axe Mountain, but one of the two universe-level fighters that came out of the Three-Axe Mountain is under Mingyu's command. So Captain Bundy is also under Lord Mingyu's command. Luo Feng let out a face of joy. Haha, when we leave the world within a world and return to Tsanglan Star, you guys will come with me to see Lord Mingyu, smiled Bundy. If it weren't for the fact that they have a common boss, Lord Mingyu, Bundy wouldn't have personally come to see Luo Feng and the others. Definitely, smiled Luo Feng as he replied. After that, Bundy left. As one of the higher-ups of the Three-Axe Mountains camp, Bundy has a lot of things to take care of. Even though it was late at night, many people wearing battle uniforms and helmets could often be seen entering the Thunder Castle in the center. Luo Feng, Hong, and Thunder God were in the crowd as they looked towards the Thunder Castle in the center. Big brother, second brother, what are you guys going to exchange for? Asked Luo Feng through his spiritual force. A D6 grade rail cannon and a lightning technique, said Thunder God. All right. Luo Feng smiled. That was how rich and overbearing people were. They would buy whatever they liked. Big brother, what about you? Luo Feng looked at Hong. Those that are of great use to me don't seem to be much. If you have a fruit of life, help me buy one. Also, help me buy a star heart if you have one. Let's forget about the others for now. Hong said. Understood. Luo Feng nodded, revealing a smile. Big brother, second brother, then with the remaining thunderstones, I'll exchange them for other treasures. Those treasures also represent huge amounts of wealth. When we get out, we'll use the wealth to buy some items we truly need. Sure. Hong smiled. Third son, do as you see fit. After all, you were the one who brought all these here. Thunder God laughed. Big brother and I are just taking advantage of you. Luo Feng wasn't in a rush to immediately exchange for it. Instead, he silently observed. There were indeed quite a few people entering the Thunder Castle. However, 99% of them were probably just there to confuse others. The night slowly passed. The world within a world had a glimmer of light. The cold wind blew across the entire plains. Dressed in an alloy armor, carrying an alloy blade on his back, and wearing a helmet, Luo Feng, who was dressed like a universe explorer, headed straight towards the Thunder Castle. He's gone to the castle. Is he trying to confuse people, or is he really going to exchange? Don't care if he's really going to exchange or not. Hurry and report to the Lord. That 4-man team leader has gone to the castle. Yes. The adventurers under the 9th Prince's command immediately reported the news to their superiors. Regarding this, Luo Feng was completely clueless. However, even if he knew, Luo Feng would probably just laugh in disdain. In this allied camp, within the Three-Axe Mountain Army, Luo Feng really wasn't afraid of anything. Under the watchful eyes of the allied army, Luo Feng stepped into the castle. Thunder Castle, within a cold, ancient room. Luo Feng stood quietly. I want to exchange for treasures. Luo Feng shouted. Little punk, wait a moment. A low voice resounded within the ancient room. These 2 days there's been a lot of people exchanging for treasures, so I'm quite busy. I'll finish this one first. Luo Feng was shocked as he heard. That living AI is currently receiving another person? Sinister, sinister. Babata howled. What's wrong? Luo Feng thought. This living AI is indeed sick, a sinister bastard. Babata said angrily. Even though the Allied army often has people entering the castle, it's only one every few minutes. That's already a lot. Isn't this living AI basically telling you, that person who entered the castle before you, is exchanging for treasures? Luo Feng was shocked. You have no power or authority, but if you're one of those people with authority and control those teams, what would you do? What will you do? Babata asked. I'll arrange for people to watch him, wait for him to leave the Allied army camp before making a move. Luo Feng's eyes were filled with shock. I understand. That's it. This living AI is indeed sinister. As a living AI, can't he predict the outcome of anything he says? His calculation ability is extremely shocking. He wouldn't make such a low-level mistake. This can only mean one thing. He's doing this on purpose. He's doing this with one goal in mind, to make you guys kill each other. This artificial intelligence is truly treacherous. Babata cursed. Luo Feng also felt a wave of anger. If his guess isn't wrong, the reason why he was chased by the 9th Prince Buluolin was most likely related to the living AI in the castle. Otherwise, there's no way to explain why the great 9th Prince didn't go after the other people who entered the castle, but chose to go after Luo Feng's group. The sound of footsteps carried from the hallway. A fat old man with a white beard smiled as he walked in. His body was surrounded by a layer of light. If one were to observe carefully, one would be able to barely notice that this old man wasn't a real person, but an energy body formed from energy. Lord Wu. Even though Luo Feng was a bit angry inside, he was still very polite on the outside. Fighting with a sick, living AI that's been lonely for millions of years is a very stupid thing to do. Kid, this is the second time we've met. The white-bearded old man smiled. Looks like you've gotten quite a bit. Speak, what do you want to exchange for? 1 life fruit. Luo Feng said. You exchanged for a life fruit last time, and you're doing it again? The white-bearded old man looked at Luo Feng with shock. Yes. Luo Feng nodded. No more. The white-bearded old man shook his head. All of my life fruits have been exchanged. Not a single one is left. Not a single one? Luo Feng froze. That's right. Thunderstones represent treasures, but that doesn't mean that you'll definitely be able to exchange for the treasures you want with thunderstones, because the treasures here are limited. Like that 9th Prince Buluolin, no matter how many thunderstones he exchanged, he wouldn't be able to get the inheritance crystal ball's 3rd password. Then I'll exchange for the Heart of Stars, Luo Feng said. That's all. Babata shook his head. What? That's all? Then, there should be a D6 grade rail cannon, right? Luo Feng stared at the white-bearded old man. A D6 grade rail cannon, to sector lords and domain lords, isn't very valuable. The chances of exchanging for it are very low, and there are a total of 3 D6 grade rail cannons here. That's all. The white-bearded old man shook his head. This D6 grade rail cannon was bought by one person on the first day. Luo Feng took a deep breath. He didn't have this, he didn't have that, he didn't have anything. Lord Wu, what other treasures do you have? Luo Feng looked at the white-bearded old man. After exchanging for so long, there are still 63 treasures left. The white-bearded old man smiled as he looked at Luo Feng. I like you, so I won't waste your time. As he said that, he waved his hand. Immediately, streams of energy gathered around him, forming a screen. On the screen was a list of treasures, which clearly showed the number of treasures remaining. Number 1 full set of Space Technique Inheritance Crystal Balls bank account, 3 accounts, stock, none. Number 2 Master's bank account, stock, none, no. 3 Domain Lord level Bloodline Medicine, 1 portion, stock, none. Number 18 Thunder Technique, 6 portions, stock, 5 portions. Number 68 Level 5 Genetic Energy Weapon Skyfire Wheel, 1 portion, stock, None. Luo Feng looked at this list and took in a deep breath. My God. None, 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 none. A bunch of nuns, it was simply chilling. Little punk, what do you want to buy, choose? The white-bearded old man smiled as he looked at Luo Feng. Luo Feng was a bit troubled. What should he choose? Luo Feng, why are you so stunned? Stupid. Babata's voice resounded. You want the heart of stars? There's none here, but there are in the universe. You want the life fruit? There are some in the universe too. As long as you have enough wealth, and through some special channels you can buy them. So, you don't have to stare. You only need to exchange the most cost-effective of these treasures. These treasures represent a huge amount of wealth. In the future, you can just buy more treasures in the universe? Babata said. Luo Feng couldn't help but laugh. Such a simple logic, yet his thoughts were limited by the list. These are the most valuable, I recommend you to buy these. Babata communicated with Luo Feng mentally, telling him which ones to buy. This, that. And these, I want them all. That thunder technique, there's still 5 portions left, I want them all. Luo Feng was rich and overbearing. The white-bearded old man was dumbfounded. Because those who had a lot of thunderstones would usually buy them right from the start. The later it got, the people who came to exchange wouldn't have too many thunderstones, and Luo Feng wanted so many in one go, the amount of thunderstones he needed was a shocking amount. A total of 9.02 million thunderstones. The white-bearded old man stared hard at Luo Feng. Only 2 chapters left today. Yesterday's update was late. Tomato had originally planned to update 3 chapters today, adding 1 more. However, the flu has caused Tomato to be very sad. Sometimes when he writes, his head feels dizzy, not as clear as before. Right now, his thinking speed isn't fast enough. In 2 days, Tomato will definitely add these 2 chapters.